Welcome to the Winter Tournament series. We from the Elite Order have been working really hard with this, and I hope everybody will enjoy having some 3v3 action. And with me, I have like the most talented guys. I have PS Enough, and I have Highland Wolf to keep me company and to do all the talking. So
Hello,
welcome,
Wicked Snow.
guys.
Hello.
Thank you. Very excited to be here. Are you doing, Highland? I hear you're eating your dinner.
I'm not eating my dinner. I've
He's
just
not
finished.
eating at all.
Yeah. So long story short, old oven blew up, guys. So a bit of action already on the stream. So I'm a bit behind, and it's been a bit of a panic coming from PL. But we're here. I've arrived, and I'm ready to get into some epic games.
Casters who eat, crazy people, I tell you, crazy people. Anyways, the first game of the series. Yeah, expect the unexpected. The first game of the series seems to be pretty much ready. We have everyone in. Do you want to do like a quick recap, Wicked Snow, of the tournament format before we go, maybe?
So today we will have 6 matches. It's going to be a single elimination. So tomorrow we will continue with 4 of the last teams, and then we will go in a single elimination to make it to the semifinals. So we have 4 teams next Sunday. And,
okay. So 6 games coming up. The first one we have is Shippuden versus Roland Gaming. I hear the Roland Gaming is a last-minute replacement. So for the side of Roland Gaming, we will have LSDW, Nymphex, and Rugen. And for the side of Shippuden, we will have Excalibur, Lelouch, and Hao Asakura. And all of the players are pretty much waiting for the draft.
Maybe we should tell them that we have this extra ban that they already made.
Yeah.
If only EU chat worked.
Yeah, so we have extra ban from the usual draft one. The drafts, the bans that we have already in place for the side of Shippuden will be Sky, and for the side of Roland Gaming is Catherine. So whenever we're ready to go to the actual draft phase, we will get underway. While you guys enjoy our little roundup table around the Kraken, I'm just checking on Twitch how we are socializing with the Kraken behind us.
That's pretty scary, man. I'm pretty scared of this. You know, like a big Kraken behind me. I'm quite nervous. But anyways, we are into the first game, the first draft. Obviously, Sky and Catherine have already been banned PS enough, and we will be getting into the first ban. What will it be? It looks to be a Black Feather on the board now. 3v3, not my forte, but certainly know what is good in 4.9, what is not good for sure through our tournaments. And I would probably expect to see something like this Vox ban. Perhaps it's just really strong, or Ishtar is equally really strong. I know in 3v3 the meta is quite burst down the enemy carry to win the game realistically in these team fights is how it's going to play out. And as a result, the Kestrel has been banned and Viola has been picked up.
Oh, Viola getting picked up. That's very interesting. Viola got a little bit of a rework on update 4.9, which is the update we're currently playing on. So it's going to be interesting how they're going to play it out from the side of Roland Gaming. So Vox getting picked up. He also got a very interesting buff, especially his weapon path. It's going to be interesting to see how the side of Shippuden will be able to play it as well. Now, you were mentioning that the 3 versus 3 meta is very bursty oriented. I guess it depends a lot it's a lot more interesting when you can invade the jungle very early on, which is not something you see a lot on the 5 versus 5. And on 3 versus 3, if you dominate the jungle early on, you have a huge advantage for the first objective fight of that first Kraken that shows up at 12 minutes. Other picks coming up, we have Lyra on the red side, and Ringo and Malene on the side of Roland Gaming. Very interesting picks, Highland.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would have preferred to see something like a Kinetic or a Gwen rather than the Vainglory. Personally, I think the Vainglory just doesn't have enough damage right now in the update 4.9. And certainly, I really love the picks coming out from the side of Roland Gaming. Is it from Excalibur? Who have the box, you know, the Grumpjaw and this Lyra. It's a very good composition, and it allows the box to not only do damage but also be protected by the stuff from the Grumpjaw and also the Bulwark and the Portal to aid this box in helping to carry the game.
Yeah, especially the Grumpjaw. It's going to be a very interesting pick. I really like Grumpjaw, especially on 3 versus 3. He just has that extra tankiness on him, and it's going to be really hard for Ringo to lower those stacks unless he uses the brew. I think Malene will get an easier job out of that. Let's see how... I'm very curious to see how they play this Viola, though. It's for the first time I see Viola since she's been reworked. I've been playing a little bit of games, but I haven't seen anyone playing Viola at all. Like, the update is so fresh, so it's going to be very interesting to see. Anyways, they're gathering around the Kraken pit for that first team fight for that healing tree ant. Let's see who's going to take it. I predict that Lelouch is going to dive in here. Yeah, he's going straight for the kill, hitting everyone. Already getting a bit low, needs to be careful. His teammate seems to be doing the back camps first.
Yeah, we're looking at this invading really well played from the side of Rudin and Nymphex and Alice to W, just to really zone out the side of House Fury and Lelouch as well, just making sure they can't contest this mid treant, which is always the first place to go in a 3v3. Interestingly enough, the lane hasn't even been entered yet. PS enough, we still see now a heavy anti-rotation here from the side of Roland Gaming, who are looking to really engage on the enemy jungle. Grumpjaw there managing to secure one back.
Excalibur needs to be careful there. Needs to back off. Grumpjaw now also has to back off, but they will still try to take that last minion, not quite make it, and now gets rooted by the Malene. This might be first kill here on Lelouch.
First blood for sure. Will go over to the Ringo. Obviously, Alice just making sure that goes over to the carry, which is well played there. Harris secure just has to be careful as well. Now going to be running away, but perhaps will be the next target. Will manage to use the sigil there just to get an extra bit of a speed boost buff and manage to dodge that one. Nice there in the box, just rooted up. And that's going to be the box going down.
Bush. That's pro tip right there. Don't face check the bush. Excalibur playing with his life. It's a very dead box. And 2 kills to 0 already on the Alcyon Fold here. Exactly. Just back to farming as usual. Lelouch stealing those back camps though. Grumpjaw has some early game advantage, especially when he gets his first item up. Usually people go either for the Poison Shiv or for the Storm Crown. Lelouch seems to be going for the Storm Crown himself. A little bit of crystal power.
Yeah, Storm Crown makes a lot of sense. It will actually be the Viola falling down. Surprisingly there in obviously the jungle. That she got caught out there.
Yeah, she did manage to steal a few of those back jungle minions. Ooh, good damage on the Malene already. Level 4 just hitting that skill. Only has 2 crystal bits. And it's already doing a ton of damage.
It's that early game Malene powerhouse damage that you see coming out of, as we say, this burst-oriented meta in 3v3 right now. It's about deleting your carry, your enemy carry, which is your target, so that you can then take out the jungle, take out the support. And
Lelouch doing another jungle invasion. Successful one.
They look like they've managed to take another successful one. And that front camp really has belonged to Lelouch this entire game.
Yeah, he's trying to build himself early game aggression as the Grumpjaw should be doing. Also worth mentioning is that all these games that are being played on this first phase are just best of 1. So whoever wins the match wins the the right to, but it's an elimination, so moves on in the tournament. So very important matches. Early on, we'll have a total of 6 matches today, and another 6 coming up tomorrow as well. Lane pressure from Nymphax here, as the jungle intensifies on the Halcyon Fold. Lelouch sightseeing a little bit. On this push,
Has
that
come up.
push.
The healing treant is just going to be secured there for their own side. Just going to make sure that goes over to Excalibur to get him some more gold in his pocket. He has gone very interesting, very all damage oriented.
Nice
They
steal.
go into Lelouch now. He's going to stuffed up one member, and Rugen going to have to wicked escapade on out of there, but unfortunately wait for it now coming out, and the work is to secure that kill, and that will be one going over to the side of Rowland Gaming, and now they look to move further on.
They can rotate to the lane now, put some pressure on. This Vox manages to wave clear. Meanwhile, the Ringo bought himself a Sorrow Blade and an Infusion. So expect some heavy weapon damage dealing coming up on the next few minutes.
Sorry. Yep. Oh, got to apologise. It is actually going to be Rowland Gaming on the A side. I've been completely misinterpreting. It will be Shupidon on the right. Bit of my mistake there, but we will continue on with action. And you see that as the WTS trying to zone out, the Millennium on Light Rivers has connected. Now they're looking to try to take down that first turret. PS, and they're going to surely do it. Bulwark's not going to be enough. Like they want to get Excalibur. Excalibur's now going to be in, but Lelouch has found out Lucian on the backside. And they are going to one kill there, and Hellfire Boost connects into the box, but they will trade one kill. So Lyra falls down, the box can't come back in as he's too low. Nymphex now going to fall down, wait for it, it's going to absolutely remove the box from the fight. And now Alice's W is the last one to survive. He's going to have to survive off of Lelouch. Does not have his stuff, no energy for it right now, and that will cost him just having to be forced back into his own side of the map.
Lelouch being so oppressive here, took down the Malign, took down the Ringo. Not much the enemy team managed to do about it. He seems to be going for an Aftershock as his first item. So going for the Crystal build, and we'll leave Vox with a weapon build option. A Vox that has been buffed on this 4.9 to do more weapon damage. So curious to see how that will play out.
Certainly, as we see just the lane getting pushed in there by the side of Shipton, they are just going to, for the side of Rowland Gaming, just take that farm up. We are on the farm, we're 45 on the box to 50 on the Ringo in the gold lead right now, looking dead even at 6.5 minutes into the game. So really nothing else in terms of the lead for our team, but we are only very early into the game. Apart from the first turn, obviously Turret First Blood has gone over to the side of Rowland Gaming, and they will have more areas in the map to move around as a result of this.
This is the part of the game where everyone is careful about not to make a bad team fight. They will lose some gold. Right up the cage here, Lelouch coming on strong, going straight into Malign. Forced to use the Wicked Escapade to get away from there. Viola left behind. Grimjaw eating the Ringo, finishing up the Viola. And it seems that this team fight is going to go for the side of the red team.
Yeah,
Ringo died, and somehow the Malign managed to pick off that support. Fox also dangerously low, but the Malign overextends.
Oh, the kill.
And also dies in the end. Well played, Lelouch there. Definitely a deciding factor on that team fight.
Definitely, Excalibur just has to be careful with that coming out now. The Ringo has come back into lane. That was 2-1 for the side of Shipperton on that team fight there. They will just have to secure their back camps. I like that they're rotating the team members and they're making sure that Lelouch can't once again go around and steal away any back camps without being contested by the full team of Rowland Gaming. They will just remove the vision. Their vision's so important in 3v3, as we saw so early. Vox just walking into a bush and getting absolutely erased. You have to keep
definitely. And on that regard, the side of the blue team has been doing a lot better job with Viola picking up that flare gun early on, which manages to give a little bit more vision advantage. Also, the side of the red team with Lyra does have that little perk that gives her a little bit of vision, but it's a bit of a waste on energy. So I might have another engagement coming up here. Wormjaw managing one.
Rujin has been hit. Now the Wicked Escape is going to be used. Going back into the fight. Nindex is trying to fight back. The wait for it has been used. Going to find one on Melina. The Hellfire Throw has been used as well. The porcelain, very aggressive, but it will cost Lyra's life. And now Ringo's getting stacked up. And now he's found one. But can he find two? Not quite, but he will find another one. And Viola's trying to find with a flare gun. Obviously, Excalibur has spotted eyes on him. Excalibur now going to turn the fight in. Unfortunately, with Drag's effect, won't be quick enough to put him to sleep there, and it will be Viola falling.
Viola had the vision. Why the hell did she go into the bush and face check? Anyways, very weird team fight there. Lyra clearly overextending, going down into the crystal tree, and then manages to lose the team fight for their team. And Excalibur with a miracle win there in the end, or a miracle overturn. But the team fight seemed to be pretty much won for the side of Roland Gaming. We're reaching minute 10. A reminder that the Kraken will wake up around 12. So this next team fight will be especially important. Time to finish up your builds, get those infusions ready for the big showdown of the Kraken fight.
Definitely, I mean, we see obviously the build now coming out for Crucible advertising have been used there for LSTW. She has managed to pull that up. Then also that's slightly ahead of how Asakura's build is right now. The fight looks like it could break out though. The Lucian positioning very aggressively. They have no turrets to fall back against here. PS enough.
Yeah, I'm curious how Viola will play on these engages. I mean, she has such a wide range of kit. What will she use to give her team a little bit of an extra advantage? Lyra prioritized the Crucible early on. She hasn't really been using it that much, not really needing it. I guess she's mostly waiting it for the Hellbuyer through, I guess.
Even a lullaby from Viola, but there's not really much that they need to actually crucible out. Apart from the other side, LSTW is much more the onus is on them to actually crucible out. Obviously, the Volk's wait for it hasn't been successfully volked out yet in the game, and obviously the stuff is another ability that you need to be blocked. Otherwise, you lose a member of your.
Might have another engagement coming out. Lyra going dangerously low. Grumpjaw stepping in, putting down those stacks up. Viola is the one that's left a bit low. Needs to be careful. Dive in from the ground, trying to finish someone off, and then she manages up eating up Malene. She does have the Wicked Escapade to still get away though, which she uses. Now it's Ringo in the bad place in the lane. Excalibur doing the flank from the bot side, trying to get someone, not quite connecting. Lelouch wants a piece of this tower. Here comes a wild Lyra going into the fray, and Ringo ends up dying. They managed to do a trade there though, and this Grumpjaw not quite able to finish anyone off besides that Ringo, and he's almost risking he does die indeed.
Adrian almost got them there. Lyra now going to be running for her life as Rujin hunts her down with Melene looking for more blood, and that obviously there's another, honestly they just can't find her. The sigil is just too great with the speed buff from the Lyra. And they're not going to be able to find her quick enough. And Rujin and LSW are just going to have to try to settle for this barrier.
Here comes the Ringos trying to pick someone off. A Wicked Escapade gets Malene into safety, but Viola doesn't have the same luck. So now the tables are turned, and we have a Kraken available to get started up. Aurelius Fox at the trap, not Ringo, obviously. My bad. I don't like this skin of Fox, where the echoes are very clearly marked when you list them, compared to other skins of Fox. Anyways, the Kraken is going dangerously low. It's going to be the first Kraken for the side of the red team. Ruden, pretty much uncontested. Curious to see how this next team fight is gonna shape up. I wanted to say that I think Lyra is overextending too much on those team fights, but they need to be aggressive, and she does have the Storm Banner to do some damage. So it makes sense that she goes into the fray. You might have another team fight coming up. Lelouch diving in, Lyra also diving in. We'll see what happens. The Crucible popping up. Viola is one who gets eaten. Fountain gets popped. Vox repositions himself, but Valini's all over him, trying to finish him off. The barrier keeps him alive of that flask, and Lelouch dangerously low needs to be careful. Here comes the over-aggressive Lyra once again.
That's gonna be one.
Nice Ringo.
PS enough to do it. Now we just need to find a Lyra, as they are going to find this through the Ringo. The Citral's not going to be enough to get her away. This time it will be triple kill for the Ringo, and it's going to be an ace as the Kraken storms down on their base. That will be the turret going down. That's push for the side of Shippuden there on that Kraken push. And that's just well played for them. Even though they did lose their life, the Kraken is a big enough target for them. By the time they respawn, nothing they can take for the side of Berlin Gaming while the enemies are down.
Very nice reversal there on the team fight. I don't know what's missing on the side of Shippuden to finish up those team fights. I'm thinking that the Grumpjaw would need to be doing more attack damage, maybe.
Once the Grumpjaw goes in, right? Like you can't. Once you go in,
you can't disengage.
You can't disengage.
Ooh, Vox getting caught off ground.
Now Vox surely gonna almost die. The Crucible has been popped, or it has been used, but it's already dead. Now PS enough, and that's gonna be one falling. And now Lelouch has to use the Citral to get away. The portal well played there to get him out into safety. Lelouch has to be careful. Very aggressive portals now coming in. The minions are on the turret PS enough, so that will be one going down. The Kraken is not up yet, but we will look for a Crystal Sentry.
And Crystal Sentries gives so much advantage now on 3 versus 3. It gives you that extra burst of damage. It's just an immense buff to get. The main problem there was Vox face checking the bush again. And now they're going for the sneaky play. They're hiding in this bush. Let's see if anyone falls for it.
They've not been sussed out yet. The fight could engage. They've now released a vision there, and they do know what is going on. The Kraken has just come back on to the House of Gold. And now Massacre has to be this deck. So they're looking like they want to push this lane back out. They look like they want to push the pressure.
Ooh, they might be
back on
getting caught out here.
Rowland Gaming. They look like they want another turret. They're going for it. They're chasing him down, but it's too fast. It's still doing the minions. The fight has come out. Wait for it. Has already used. Yes, enough. The fight continues. Lullaby is not going to land on anyone as it is not back off of their 45 seconds. We then 49. Now Vainglory looking like he's going to be pulled off the back line. Lonzo can't quite finish him off. Lullaby once again used. I would prefer to see a distance there, but it doesn't matter. As now Rujan is going to hopefully try to find the Lyra in the back, but Vox still alive, manages to find a Ringo on the back. Now Alice, the next target, looking to find the second kill. Rujan there as well. How still running away. He's impossible to track down here, PS up, but finally they will take him down as Rujan.
Treant saving Viola there from certain death. Excalibur once more though. 1 versus 3. I can do this. No problem.
Oh, very aggressive. Perhaps it's a bait there. To try to see if Alice will come in. They know they can get a Crystal Sentry.
Got the Crystal Sentry.
Yeah, the Lyra did back
Excalibur,
off
the one-man show. It totally dominated that team fight there. They managed to let him take up his stacks, and once Vox is stacked up, it's very hard to finish him off, especially with the defense itemizations that he got. They've been focusing down on the Grump shot first, and I think that's a mistake. I think they should be focusing down on the Vox.
Yeah, you need to definitely delete the carry. The Vox was allowed in that fight to survive for far too long, and as a result, Vox ultimately did manage to get a kill on the backside of Mr. Ringo.
Might have another team fight coming up here. Viola face checking that bush. I like the itemization on Viola a bit better. That little what's it called? Rook's Decree gives him an extra barrier, which is very good, especially when she has also the capacitor plate. So that really helps out on those team fights. It gives an extra little barrier to your team that your opponent team is not having.
The vision is there. Wait for it. Has been used. Bulwark also used. Lullaby has been used, but not gonna put him to sleep. Will have to come out on the box. Still going in. He's still alive. Yes, enough. The stuff has come up on something that's probably one. And now it's gonna take her out the fight. They're going to just kill off Rujin now. Excalibur's still alive. Wicked Escape goes back down, but not gonna be for long. Surely, as they do cut off Rujin's escape. As he can still get away from this one. Excalibur has been turned away by allies. Can't quite finish him off. Rujin will actually manage to survive with the help of the rotations from Viola there, but the healing Treant will still go over to the Grumpet and it'll just start the Kraken.
Wicked Escapade is so useful to get away from these team fights once they are lost. But once again, they didn't focus the Vox and just let him stack up. Let's see if they do a better job here. Vox already stacked up, so a little bit too late.
Doesn't look like they'll find a kill there right now, but how has he
get Lyra caught a bit out?
Can't quite find a steal, but Lyra has gone down. The portal there is just going to actually help the enemy team, and actually Fox actually using to escape. It's not going to be enough, as unfortunately the portal ended up actually killing the Vox, as it did allow the allies there to jump straight on top.
Lush needs to be careful here.
They just want to end the game, perhaps. PS enough is they want this final kill. Their time is not long enough.
He's trying to put him into the base. Can he reach it? Yes, he can.
He's reaching it. Oh, it's not enough. Yeah.
Bring the enemy to the base and the rest of the team as well. Base Rish this time. The Kraken's not fast enough, so I think this game will go for the side of Roland Gaming. But very close matchup this one was. Very impressed with both teams here. Doing a lot of good work. The victory goes in the end to the side of Roland Gaming. Well played there. Nimpex, Rugen, and Alice TW taking the win against Excalibur, Lelouch, and Hao Hasakura.
Definitely just well played for the side of Roland Gaming. Yeah, in some place not to get distracted by the Kraken at the end, just to go for the game-ending push. Obviously, Lyra is not a threat, and with the staggered death timers on both the Lyra and the Vox, it meant that they were allowed to just burst down that Grump Jaw, 3 members on the turret, and just finish the game.
I find curious that Lelouch went for the Grump Jaw without the Storm Crown. I would have kept the Storm Crown if I was going the CP path, but he decided to go for the Frostburn instead and some utility, which is smart, trying to protect the Vox. And it worked pretty well in a lot of the team plays. It was really bad mistake on that last team fight for the Kraken that cost them the game. So I played both teams, and we're going to be moving on to the next game of the series. Let me take a look at what that will be. Real quick at the schedule. Next game up will be White Umbra versus LYTB. Let's take a look at what players are in those teams. White Umbra playing with Vissen, Asatu Games, Waja 3000, and Emilius 3000, double 3000. And LYTB is going to be playing with The Miracle, Halix, Kongamonga, and Gliding Vampire. So let's see if the players are ready for this next fight already.
Yeah.
Wicked Snow White, you want to add something to the game? Were you following it?
Of course I was following it. It's like intense gameplay. I'm really impressed, and it was a good fight. Like I had like strong beliefs for the red team there for a long while, but in the end it goes fast in 3v3. It's not as as 5v5.
Very good initial fight for this tournament. I'm really impressed.
See if we can get these guys in.
Yep, let's see if we get it on. Highland Wolf, anything to add about this next team coming up?
I don't particularly know any of these players. I know that Lelouch, bad day today in terms of the competitions, was in the Maxman Premier League earlier today, but certainly looks like an interesting match. I do actually think I remember Gliding Vampire is in the top 100 EU, I believe. So I definitely think that perhaps it's just going to depend on the draft. I think that despite the fact they had this really strong draft, and I thought that Obviously decided Lucius' team were going to win. It did actually go to Valorant Gaming, and well played to them for this Ringo as well. Played so well in the positioning and not allowing him to get too caught down too fast, which allowed the Maline then to output enough damage into the team fight before it was over. And definitely well played to Virlo as well.
Malini is such a
backbone of
broken
that team.
hero as well, especially in 3 versus 3. You have so much room to maneuver that you can really,
a smaller map.
re-engage and stuff like that. Really gives you a little extra edge to go into the team fight, get away from the team fight, stun someone. Your kit is so extensive that you can do a lot of things, but you need to be a skillful player. So well played there from the side of Rugen. Was Rugen on the Maline, right? I'm in
yes,
doubt
it
now.
was. Yeah.
Okay, next game coming
So
up.
We're waiting on Melini, who maybe he could come back in for the stream.
Yeah, the stream's gone. Yeah, I mean,
And
looking at the
I
bands,
also want to say like a really big welcome to all my guys from Cursed Gamers that are here as moderators.
Oh yes, yes, Cursed
Seeing them
Gamers.
doing an awesome job in the stream, like keeping everybody happy. They don't know much about me, but what they don't know, they just like back in the stream so super positive. I'm so grateful you guys are here. And help out.
Yeah, and all of the people from behind the production work have also been helping setting up the parties and stuff like that. A lot of people involved getting up the tournament. So thanks everyone involved to getting this up and running. To help a more buttery smooth experience happen on this tournament.
Experience, yes.
Yeah.
We need
now
more
we're
of
just
that
waiting
on
for one
Vainglory.
guy more.
Yep.
How about we talk about the bans? I mean, obviously we do see the side of LYTV has actually banned Kinetic, and on the other side with our Umbra we banned Sky. What do we think of these guys?
Well, I have to like give some inside information here because the Miracle Gliding Vampire at Kongamonga is that's my teammate.
Oh.
Have we got bias here? Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little bit biased. Yes. Of course, I wish both teams like the best of luck, but these guys can pull up things that is just amazing. They surprise me every day in good ways. In good
well,
ways.
they can surprise you again tonight. Wicked, and we'll win. Surely, we'll pray for a win, Wicked, for your team. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Nevertheless, I wish the other team best of luck, and I'm really grateful that everybody's here. And I will start up the game and leave it to you two guys to comment.
Thank you. We should get the game underway. We already have the members. I'm just checking the bans. Apparently, it's Kinetic and Sky that's gonna get the band up. I think Kinetic is a good ban, and Sky as well. Sky is so oppressive on 3 versus 3 as we are entering the draft for the second game on the tournament. Sky is so oppressive on 3 versus 3, especially if you play it well early on. Just do a jungle invade, double crystal bits. Just becomes so oppressive, and if you manage to get one of those first minions, you scale up to level 2 faster, and then you're just having constant level advantage, which is great to do those jungle invades. So very curious to see. Well, we won't see her on this game, obviously, since she's been banned away. The other ban that's coming up is Ishtar. So let's see what the side of LYTB decides to ban. They go for the Churnwalker. Very interesting ban there. Prioritizing the captain. Highland, what do you think about these bans?
I honestly think the bans are not surprising. I do expect to see Vox picked first. I think Vox coming 4.9 with obviously the basic attack damage. Now scaling makes CP Vox really strong, but also weapon power Vox to ratios on his Sonic Zoom have been buffed as well. Finn and Grumpjaw. Personally, I think this is a bad idea to go Finn and Grumpjaw into a Vox. It's going to allow Vox to use his resonance to bounce the damage off Finn really easily as a really tanky frontliner onto the backline if whoever you choose to pick as their final pick for the team. Arden, also picked up here, will be able to help Vox with the Vanguard and the Gauntlets to zone away any possible fights.
Yeah, Finn will definitely need to keep his distance away. Seems that Vision's gonna round up this pick with a Black Feather. Black Feather's so broken right now. That's just a ton of damage without any offensive items, really. Like his A as in his B is just ridiculous high damage throughput. So very interesting pick. Curious to see if they're going to play Weapon Vox or CP Vox. Probably Weapon Vox and leave the CP build path for a Black Feather. And round up the composition from the side of LYTB, we have the Celeste, which she got a little bit of a love on the latest update, so she's back in command. I'm not sure that's the best pick against a Black Feather, though. Black Feather is a dive hero, so it's really gonna burst her down. So very curious to see how these team fights play out, Highland.
Exactly. I mean, who do you think PS enough has the better draft comp here? And I'm going to ask this because
I think it's the side of the A team. I think I think they have they can dive and they can also protect a bit better. If they keep kiting, Vox will round up those stacks and they will keep doing poke damage with Black Feather, so they will be all right. They can get back if Grumpjaw is diving upon them and maybe survive for a little while longer. And if Celeste doesn't pick up with the rest of the fight, I think they will be able to turn it around and kill Grumpjaw and then proceed to Finn and Celeste. But on the other hand, if there's a good forced accord forcing Vox into the fray, he might get deleted real fast, and then it's anyone's game if Black Feather can finish up some kills or not. Anyways, the early jungle invade coming up.
Yeah,
they're just looking at each other.
Oh, whoa.
Maybe a disconnect.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. It looks like
they surrendered.
Yeah.
I think one of them disconnected or something.
Looks like, unfortunately, a disconnection. I mean, you are obviously responsible for your own connection. So we will have to get back into the game, unfortunately. Otherwise, one of the teams.
Sato is saying on chat that he was supposed to be Vox. They forgot to swap the games. That
really?
The draft bugged. So
I mean,
let's swap that.
That sounds a bit dodgy. I think you have plenty of time to swap.
It bugged. It bugged. It crashed.
We can't tell, man. We can't tell. But yeah, a bit unfortunate. But we'll continue on. It will be the same picks and bans, guys. Moving into the second game, we'll just have to get right back into it. With some more action.
I think it's legit. So let's wait and see. Same draft, obviously.
I don't mean it's not legit. It's just a bit unfortunate. But we'll get back in. Yeah, do expect the same bans here as the Ishtar and the Chumble have been banned out. And we're looking for the Vox and then the Finn and the Grumpjaw followed by the Arden.
No, this
Swap
one.
heroes.
There we go.
We were so busy selecting the skins that they forgot to swap the hero.
Yeah, the skins look pretty epic, man. I mean,
priority, man. You need to select your skin properly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
you need to have priorities in life.
Mm-hmm. Got to love that winter Vox skin. You know, Vox and Ice. We do see, obviously, the second game. It will be for the side of White Umbra. It will be this in a Sato Games and Emilix 3000 versus LYTB on Konga Monga, Gliding Vampire, Andy Miracle, Wicked's Hopes and Dreams in this team.
Konga Monga. Such a nice nickname.
And also a nice, Grumpjaw skin. That's pretty sweet Grumpjaw skin. Lapdog Grumpjaw. I'd dig that one.
I would prefer if it had the Santa hat, of course, instead of the halo,
Oh,
because it is the almost December already. Celeste has the hat, so she's legit. But the rest of the characters are somewhat lacking in that regard. Here comes a jungle invade early on, scattering the team of White Umbra. Blackfeather doing a little bit of damage there, not enough to chase away LYTB. They will take this barrier treant. Arden hesitating too much doing the back camps, and now he's just too late. He should have went there faster, in my humble opinion. Now Konga Monga is on him. Will he be able to take? Yes, he will. His own jungle. And scare away Imidos 3000 might get caught up here between the Finn and the Grumpjaw.
Yeah, certainly looks like the core collapse has landed there. Yes, enough, and there will be Konga Monga now looking to find it despite here. Bitson has continued doing the back step, and unfortunately that will make him target at the fast has been popped. No Rose defenses to get on as is there. No Rose defenses for plans once again. That's going to be first blood falling to the side of where LYTB, and it looks like a second kill is just not going to happen as the Sasha Games manages to slide on there. Definitely, you know, the side of Wicked's team doing really well.
Grumpjaw now in a bad problem. He missed that treant, and now Blackfeather is gonna chase him down. The problem with Grumpjaw early on, though, is that he's just so tanky. Finn there with a quibble, trying to help his teammate up, and Konga Monga manages to get the safety. They might have a little time to steal this barrier treant. Celeste is there, but misses the stun. And Emilius manages to steal up that treant. Very messy early game, Highland.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of aggression. Kill going over. It looks like it could be two as Emilius surely will fall now. The flight company there just to drag him back into the fray. And now Bisson being chased down by Konga Monga. Once obviously Konga gets that charge, and the Grumpjaw surely will go again. Will manage to find that guilt, and that will be Blackfeather falling. And now Konga Monga is going to look to give that treant. He will manage to get back, and Blinded Vampire going to take the front camp as well. So Emilius really struggling to defend his team here, and it's going to be up to Sato Games to in the lane, I think, that to really put the pressure back onto the side of LYTP, because the jungle certainly isn't looking good.
Yeah, but at the same time, they are taking over the lane. The Sato Games putting down some pressure there, denying a lot of farm to Celeste early on. So kind of compensates a little bit. And as we know, Grumpjaw is better early in the game. He's gonna fall down at the later part of the game, where Blackfeather really starts coming online and becoming pretty much unkillable. If he does his itemizations properly. So very curious to see how this game will progress. I do think that the side of White Umbra will have a better late game than they are having right now. Already 3 kills down and 1k gold behind. We have another engage coming up in the bottom. Highland.
Yeah, obviously Blinded Vampire only level 5, so aggressive with base attacks from Celeste. Very surprising to see, but it looks like this has might be enough more in true, but double core flaps will manage to find on this is has been popped. Yes, another in the Sasha game now trying to kite there, will manage to find Celeste on the backline, but he will perhaps fall, not if he can actually be saved by his teammates here, which he will, and Konga Monga's gonna have to be careful. And Ivy Miracle joins the fight, was not in that fight, unfortunately, and that resulted in losing the fight company to tack on to 1, but no Forster core there is only level 5. Quibble going to land on Emilius, lots of low health bars, but not going to fight anyone.
Almost dying there from a hit. But the barriers.
Have to be careful.
Solar Storm just missing there, and now it's Arden that's in trouble against a stacked up
now it looks like a mistake.
These team fights are so silly.
Yeah, I mean, that was an overextension there from Visson. He has to respect that he was not going to get the kill. He shot in front of all 3 members, and that was very motivated and excited to take that one kill up. I think definitely a couple of mistakes.
Oh, force the guard onto Fox, and it's a kill. Well played, Finn there. The Miracle taking advantage of his ultimate coming online, finishing up that box there. Right now, this turret is probably gonna go down.
Didn't have to hit melee there. It will result in the turret aggro putting them low and now.
We're in a bad place now. Just be careful.
Be careful, because it does do a lot of damage. So Guiding Vampire is here. They do have minions pushing into the turret, but he's not going to look to try and take this first turret.
And these Finn hits are doing extra damage because he did build some crystal itemization, especially to do that extra damage, which is very smart early game. Does a lot of damage to these squishier carry heroes.
It's just a crystal Finn.
Yeah. Who needs support?
I mean, it's dangerous to go both CP though on the Celeste and the Miracle. I think if we do end up getting to the late game, if they do spy that one out on the side of White Umbra, they will buy shield items, and unfortunately things will really struggle as a result of that. Kongamonga as a support, I would have loved to see Finn to be honest with support. I don't think it's going to work too well for the Miracle being full CP, but it is definitely providing
Box overextending a little bit here.
And now with the
He
stuff,
gets eaten up, and it's going to be a very dead box in the belly of the Grumpjaw. The turret wants a piece of that as well. And the kill edge goes up to Celeste, which is weird. Taking opportunity to get some of these jungle, maybe a Crystal Sentry, while he loses his own Sentry in the lane.
yeah, there's trading objectives.
Bit of a strange
here.
trade.
I mean, they were definitely going to lose that first fight, so going to the Crystal Sentry does make sense. I think we're just trying to make the most of what they've got right now. They are certainly behind, and obviously 16,000 goals to 13,000 in 7 minutes. That's about 3,000 goal deficit, and indeed they are straight down, 6 goals down as well.
They traded Crystal Sentries though. LYTB rotating there.
So that's a negative trade.
Yeah, I mean, better get a Crystal Sentry than lose a turret and a Sentry and just be behind. So at least Vissing got one.
Exactly.
Get a bit overextended here. Let's see what happens with the reversal. Grumpjaw going in, tries to get a hit on that Black Feather. The ultimate from Arden securing a stun onto Celeste, not enough to really finish them off.
Fight continues here now. Kongamonga has come in, so this one's going to go wide. Arden has managed to dodge that one out. The Guiding Vampire looking like he wants more. The Helo Genesis 100 to do too much damage just now. We need to spell fire on to Guiding Vampire. Does have to get more items. He's looking at about 1,200 gold PS enough to something has to go in shop soon.
Yeah, the Miracle's still buying more crystal. I think he really should be doing some defensive itemizations at this point. But apparently, actually, if you take a look at Grumpjaw's build, he's going pretty much defensive. So he already did a Fountain, and now he's probably doing a Crucible. So maybe that's their secret technique. They're using Grumpjaw as a support instead of the Finn. Which might be interesting. It might be like double supporting the Celeste. Fight for the gold miner here. Goes up on the side of the blue team, and Blackheart is trying to finish that Celeste off, not quite able to finish off, but she does manage to pick off the kill. Finn wants some retribution, just gets a mortal wound, and Kongamonga forced to call back. Nice engage from the side of blue team here. Blackfeather manages to dive onto that Celeste and do the reverse Highland.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a steal there for the side of White Umbra onto that Crystal Miner. Very aggressive for the side of LYTB to start that, and unfortunately, because they lost that, they lost the team fight. The damage will be done thanks to the objective onto the likes of the Celeste and the Miracle. I think they need these two support, so we perhaps need Kongamonga. I think it would have been much better for Kongamonga to be that weapon power. I think that would have worked a lot better than having the Miracle as a second crystal hero. Like I think is
going with a poison shiv and a spell sword. I think would have been better. And use the Finn as a proper support.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play seriously. These are elimination matches, and I just don't think that these builds have been fought through, unfortunately.
This is serious. This is serious business. You just don't understand the art of Finn, of CP Finn.
Of CP Finn. I'll try it out as my main support. How it works. I might be proven wrong.
Both of them do have those mortal wound itemizations, so I don't know how well that's gonna work out for them. They shouldn't be more bursty instead of mortal wound. You have another engage coming up, but I think they're gonna disengage. Grumpjaw with frontlining, losing those stacks. Blackfeather going in and out, not quite connecting those on points. Last ones to go back home. Also not connecting those Heliogenesis, so damage back and forth. Now connecting one with Blackfeather and Holy Nova. Hey, a big damage dealer from Finn there. Solar Storm not quite hitting anyone though. Here comes the Sato, picking up those stacks, manages to kill off Grumpjaw. Ultimate catching Celeste off ground, and this is a very dead Finn, I think. Unless he can kill all three members here with the help of the Crystal Sentry.
No way he's doing that. Yes, enough. That will be the Crystal Sentry going over to the side of White Umbra. And it seems like the fight has starting to turn. The Miracle Reed is falling off. I mean, he's now building Eve of Harvest. Eve of Harvest, he's a tanky thing. He's got the most health of any support there is in the game right now.
Well, if he wants to frontline more, I guess it makes some sense.
There's no damage.
And he does, but it does give him a little bit more cooldown as well. Eve of Harvest does give you cooldown, right? I'm not talking out of my ass here.
No, it definitely does give. Well, it gives you more energy.
Yeah, no cooldown. You're right. So yes, it's just this is not so good. I think if you want. The main problem with Finn here is that he does his quibble or his B, and then he can't follow up because it has a very long cooldown. He does the damage, it just doesn't have a follow-up because it has a very long cooldown. So either you reduce the cooldown with a proper clockwork or whatever, or you do proper defense itemization and be a craft.
Or don't build DP. Exactly. Yeah, I mean... For sure. I mean, we can go on for days, but
another engage coming out.
The stuff has hit onto one, and now we can go back into. He's not going to be able to shut down. Shut left falling down the backline. Gordon has landed. Now we find two members. PS enough. The swivel is not going to do enough damage. It's not enough with only a spell fire. Harvest the infusion, not even use their miracle in that fight. But he is got it in his inventory. Huge hit builds coming out from the side of their white. It looks so good in the early game, but the Kraken is going to be started by White Umbra. It looks like it could be something as a match if they're not careful.
Yeah, late game is here, and the Blackfeather late game is just he out-sustains the enemy team. He's diving, ignoring completely Finn, and Grumpjaw is diving for Celeste and always getting the kill and getting out alive at the same time. So either the Celeste starts hitting those Heliogenesis a lot better, or it's going to be a very hard late game.
Yeah, Celeste just hit out of the fight too quickly, and you see the Black Odors in the box now going in. They're trying to find the Celeste, but it doesn't matter to finish the target first. Lighting Vampire misses out. All the stuff has hit. That's going to be a dead person now, and this end definitely going down. And Blacktail will be the first to pull back his shutdown. There's going to be a lot of gold going over to the side of LYTB. They have to defend this Kraken. Still 2-on-2 here. Yes, enough. But that's the game still has to done. Still do this. Wave Grit has been used. Full Clan's going to stun him up though, so he can't follow up. Heliogenesis does land, and now the fight continues. Now the third member of LYTB has come in, but he managed to find one turret. He's just trying to waste time, and he just can't kill him. They finally get rid of him.
Yeah, but annoying Hawks is just staying there with a sliver of health. But these team fights have been very strange. The late game has definitely come into full effect, and I hate to say this, but I think the main problem here is that Celeste is not really doing the damage that she should be doing. She has the itemizations for it, but not quite landing those skill shots. And without doing the damage, the rest of the team is just squishy bait to give those stacks to Vox and for Blackfeather to pull through. So well played from the side of White Umbra so far, dominating this late game. And we might have another Kraken coming up soon, Highland.
Yeah, I mean, Kraken's got to click this now, so it should be back soon. But certainly the engagement comes out. Water attack, the Gauntlet has been cancelled out. Yes,
Solar
enough.
Storm?
The Solar Storm's going too early. And that's all the damage really gone. The cripple lands on the 2, but it doesn't matter. He's already forced out the team fight. Fox still continuing. He's trying to find that first kill. Core collapse and misses again. They defend with an inch of their life. Listen. They're going down for oh, miss. Could have been.
Force the course, so close. So close. And yet so far. Those solar storms not really connecting with anything.
No,
which is
like,
a shame.
had that
They
solar
could really
storm
change
landed,
the team fight.
Yeah, had that solar storm landed, Listen would have been dead for sure. And
Yeah.
possibly even what was it, Saxo games as well. Like they could have done so much more damage, and you see all these low health bars. If an ability such as the solar storm lands all that damage, that's when you can start getting those kills. And Gliding Vampire needs to be careful when they're using him, because he's using him a bit too early, and it's costing him that massive team-wide ability.
He's afraid of getting wiped out before he has the time to use it, so he wants to use it on, but it's not quite connecting.
Machine gunner's abilities.
They didn't quite go for the Kraken here. They had a little bit of an opening, but respecting the enemy team, and now decide to go back home to themselves to get an infusion or something.
And definitely, we're about 16.5 minutes into the game. 5,000 gold in the league.
Gliding Vampire, you can use the Solar Storm now. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, only clipping Fox with that dash, getting away from the Solar Storm. But well played. He was having the same thought that I was. I mean, catching them off guard.
Yeah, you're not going to kill off a full health Fox, but certainly puts him out the team fight and forces him to go back, which could allow them to then take the pressure onto Kraken. Listen has bought a Celestial Shroud there. And that will make him very tanky, and this is what we talk about. They build both CP, and Blackfeather just says thank you very much. I'll just build a Celestial Shroud and you can't kill me anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to kill that Blackfeather when both of the enemy damage dealers are CP, and he has that CP defense itemization.
Listen
Still managed to
Celestial Shrouds.
A bit of trading back and forth, pushing this lane on. Want some engages? Come on, people!
Yeah, it's quiet now. The game is slowed down, but certainly they're looking to try to push onto the second
Next team fight might be the final team fight.
Exactly, they're looking for a fight. Well, only certainly the side of their YTV lose this fight is definitely going to be the end. Their times aren't long enough. The Forster Cord is up. D-Merkel could be more aggressive. He could be using this for support to really light weapon.
They're being respectful. Here comes the Blackfeather though, now diving on, gets a big
so
tunnel into the face.
It works, now the Forster has landed, and now the fight continues on. This has gone down to start fighting it will be the front door falling. Now this may be the end of the side of wire YTB, and now it will be Emilius return team fight. They could be more aggressive. Listen, this can't come in though. The Heliogenesis are too good for Gliding Vampire. They're now too low to finish off the game. I mean, excellent defense is left there.
The cord not quite connecting, and
that could be it.
Dead.
That could be it.
Yeah, Gliding Vampire overextending here. The Blackfeather might be able to punish him off. Not quite. I mean, the problem here is the mobility. Solar Storm! Not quite hitting anyone. Rose offensive there. Avoiding it. The mobility on the side of White Umbra is just so strong. Both Fox with the dash and Rose's offensive from Blackfeather always manages to keep them slightly away from those Heliogenesis, from those Solar Storms, and that's been giving them the advantage on these team fights.
Yeah, certainly that Solar Storm at the start of that last team fight, it really did hurt Visson and put him out of that fight. The flash was already popped immediately on that Solar Storm. I mean, that's what we want to see. That's the damage that we can see from Gliding Vampire. It's going to keep his team alive. And certainly they're looking they're alive now. As the Kraken comes down on the base, the Mercury slow thing to be careful to out of position, and in your base CP there's no weapon power carry here to reverse down the Kraken. It's only going to go down to 25% so far. They're pushing in back 550 damage.
Finally a Solar Storm hitting, but mostly Arden.
Despite the
Force the cord.
wait for it being used. Now Grumpy trying to find someone, but his stuff has been can't engage. They've just won the end of the game. PS Nothing wants to finish it, and it will be surely going over to the side of White Umbra, which is really and that will be them advancing to the next stage.
But so close. They were always like, if you hit the solar storm, the team fight will be completely different. They're always so low, but so slightly out of reach. So this creative itemization from the side of LYTB not quite working out for them in the end of the game. They wanted to have a very tanky Finn that's doing some damage, but in the late game he just scales off, was forced to use some defensive itemizations. Celeste was left as the only damage dealer and not quite able to hit due to the mobility of the side of the White Umbra players. So well played, White Umbra. They move on in the tournament. Let's take a look at who is next playing.
Yes,
Next,
certainly.
we have Powerpuff Girls
Ooh.
and
Powerpuff Girls. I love Powerpuff Girls.
See, I know this team, Powerpuff Girls. I think if it right, if it is the people that are that I'm thinking of, it could be a very good match. Tox Armada. I'm pretty sure that is going to be Oshkuri and Suki and Valhalla and Fez. And it will be Blossom, Bubbles, Buttercup, and Milkshake Box on the side of Powerpuff Girls.
Tox Armada got nothing against Bubbles, yo.
They got nothing against this team. I mean, they all have these dashes beside them, these hyphens. That's the real
because they're so
skill
fast. They're so blazing fast. They leave dashes
that's
behind
the skill. Them. It's in the usernames. That's where the skill comes from in the game.
Anyways, we have the draft coming up soon. Blossom, Bubbles, and
I think you need to restart. And
oh, I do. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah,
usually
I'll turn
helps.
it off and on again. Whoa, we can't be avoiding the Vainglory bugs. I'll just blame it on the bugs. Yeah, but we'll be getting into our third match of the night. Obviously, Powerpuff Girls versus Tox Armada, folks. It's certainly going to be an epic matchup. In Oskuri, perhaps the side of Tox Armada favourites to win the tournament. They definitely do have a stacked roster, so it'll be interesting to see if Powerpuff Girls can take them down.
Now we only need Team Eleni to get back on here as well.
Yeah, it's important to have a camera
Yes,
on the game.
It's pretty nice, actually.
But I think the tournament's been going all right so far. So.
Do we know the team bands? Like, did you guys check them out?
Yeah, we do. I will check them out right now. So, for the Powerpuff Girl bands, we have Viola. And for Tox Armada, they have chosen to ban Vox. So, it will be Viola and Vox being banned out onto the third game.
Okay.
So, then I think we're ready to start, guys.
Oskari was asked to be placed last. So, if you can change that, Wicket.
Of
Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay. And we're ready for the next game of the mighty Powerpuff Girls against the mighty Toxic Armada. Can the toxicness invade the niceness of the Powerpuff Girls? Stay tuned to find out the next couple of seconds. I'm putting my money on the Powerpuff Girls. They're made of sugar and spice and everything nice.
Draft mode requirement not met.
What?
Maybe.
Does not qualify.
Who's too low?
One
in
member
Elo?
has not enough unlocked enough heroes.
Oh no! Uh-oh, someone
put it on private on without draft maybe.
No, because that will create you with 30,000 gold. It will have to be a draft. Who is this though? Who is this?
So,
we'll have
who is
to.
this person?
Yeah.
Who is this person? I'm guessing it's a newer account, so it must be one of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, it will definitely be one of them because certainly the other ones definitely have enough heroes for sure.
So we could do that. They get the other draft in private as well.
No, private's going to give him 30. So to begin with, we'll start with all the items.
Well, we cannot.
Yeah,
Shame.
I mean, for now, like, well, they definitely have someone there, Milkshake Fox as a sub. Is he available?
Shit.
Give us a couple of minutes to figure this out.
Exactly. I mean, PS enough. While we're waiting now, what do you think of these bands? Right? What do you think of Viola and Vox?
Well, Vox is definitely interesting because of the versatility that he has. He can both go CP and weapon. I think that's mostly why he's been so prioritized. Not just because he's good, but because he can flex between those two picks. And leaving the opening for the jungler to be whatever fits best against the enemy draft. But yeah, definitely bans against Sky, as we have been seeing Grumpjaw. We've been seeing a lot of Grumpjaw. And also somewhat successful. Those are my main ones. I haven't seen any Petal, which is curious because Petal is so dominating on 3 versus 3 if played well early game. So curious to see how that works out as well, if we will have any Petal being played or not. And we're still trying to figure out the issues with the joining. I think the best solution might be just to have people are asking if isn't it against the rules not to have enough heroes. I'm not sure. Maybe it is, maybe it's not.
Yeah,
I
we
kind
certainly
of expected everybody to have 14
Yeah,
heroes,
well,
so
I think we
that's
all did,
probably
to be
my
honest.
bad.
But you know, perhaps with their names, perhaps they've just decided to create a new account. Unfortunately, that will mean that they don't have enough heroes. But certainly,
This
I'm
and
trying
they
to
all
figure
have
this out
access
with
pass.
Discord.
yeah. They're asking for 5 minutes. If we give them 5 minutes, we can talk about then certainly about the future games coming up, and we can talk about the previous games if you want to do that.
I'm wondering if it's really the Powerpuff Girls who have the issue, or if it's one of the players from the other team.
It's definitely power. These guys, Valhalla, Oscar, are definitely not. They definitely have enough heroes.
But I don't know if Tsuki's account has enough.
No, Suki's definitely got enough because he was in MPL earlier today, so for sure he does.
So it's Oscary for sure. I'm sure Oscary doesn't have all the heroes unlocked by now.
He's only number 1 in EU. So, like,
But it's really weird. If all of them have access paths, they should just be able to do this. Maybe try recreate the draft or restart the game.
They say start again. They say we got in the chat from behind the scenes. We have a spooky voice saying that they'd forgotten all access for one account, so we'll just try again to get them in the game.
Okay.
Let's try and get back in.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just restart the party then.
Yeah.
Well,
You
this
need
thing
all
happened.
access.
It's
obviously.
going very smooth otherwise, so obviously we're gonna have some speed
It's
bumps.
not our fault that they don't have,
Give access to the Powerpuff Girls. It's important.
They better
Otherwise,
put up a fight
Mojo
now.
Jojo is gonna come and eat you.
I mean, they better put up a fight now that they're spending money on this tournament. Like
Spending money against the Toxic Armada
is pay to win, quite literally. Like pay to play. Anyways,
Wicked is restarting.
Yeah, we'll move into the third game very shortly, guys. Don't worry. Once again, it is Powerpuff Girls, the side of Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, who are going to be against Kexamara, who are going to be Oscary, Suki, which is the characters. I won't say which characters because I don't know. That is Suki and Valhalla. Where we're going to be.
Okay, the lights coming in. Let's see if Sugar and Spice and everything nice has all the accesses they need to fight against the Toxic Armada of Oscary, Valhalla, and Suki. I wonder how much lag Suki has on EU server.
Suki just wins. He doesn't need skill. He has lag to win.
Yeah, who needs ping when you have the skills?
When you just phase through all the abilities with the lag, yeah. Like...
Anyways, information on the bans while we're waiting for the game to get started. Powerpuff Girls will ban Viola, and Toxic Armada bans Vox. Smart bans, in my humble opinion. Let's see what the second round of bans will be, as Buttercup is still pending acceptance. Buttercup, come back. We need you, Buttercup.
I know.
We can't fight Bad Mojo without you.
Yeah, definitely going to be an epic game to see if, obviously, Decided Powerpuff Girls can unfortunately beat Decided Toxic Armada. Unfortunately, I think we have drawn the short straw.
We have an accept, and I think we will try to start it up. See how
We're
it works.
ready.
Go, go, go.
And look at
Finding
this.
a match for a party. All right.
Neat. We'll just have to find a match now. We are into the third game of the series. And
Grubjaw getting banned.
yeah, straight away. Grubjaw, they must know what they want.
Yeah, it's one of the strongest picks on 3 versus 3. Also for his versatility, you can also flex him as captain, which didn't work so well on the previous match. But, you know, it's a possibility. Let's see what Toxic Armada bans. They decide to ban the Churn Walker. Afraid of those, what's it called? Trespass? The ultimate? Of,
the Trespass.
Churn Walker.
Yeah, very
Ishtar
very
getting picked up for Blossom. We're going to see some Ishtar playing. Ishtar got a bit nerfed on 4.9. Not sure how viable she still is.
I think Ishtar's gone from being broken to actually just being like fightable.
Half
like,
broken.
She's. I think it's quite scary to see how many nerfs Ishtar's had, and she's still viable. Is a mid laner. Obviously the ascension from Ishtar, she does get fed. Ultimately, she will manage to really burst down the enemy carries, the enemy team with those 4 knives that she spawns in the empowered attack she deals. But Kensei looking to go in with the Lorelei, definitely going to be looking like a very heavy engaged comp. I'll be surprised. I do like to see the same thing. It's going to be picked up.
This is going to be a very interesting match. Like a lot of different heroes from what we've been seeing on the previous matches. Ishtar, Sandfang. Ooh, what's this we see from Buttercup? Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the Inara to. You can use Inara to kick back Oskuri, who perhaps will be on the Kensei here. Oskuri will be the laner for sure. I definitely know that much. Because he plays a lot of lane.
I think the Powerpuff Girls' tactics will be to hyper protect that Ishtar. Let's see how that works. And look at the composition from Toxic Armada, clearly going for the late game. I mean, Alpha has some early game aggression as well, but I think they're mostly aiming for the late game and that hyper carrying that Kensei as well. So very curious matchup this is going to be. Like those Crucibles will need to be on point for both teams to really lay down the hurt. So very curious for this third matchup of the tournament. Hope you guys have been enjoying as we're going down to Halcyon Fold for the third time today on this first day of the tournament. Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup going up against Valyala, Oskuri, and Tsuki. May the games begin.
Yeah, I mean, certainly expect a rotation into the mid triad here, and we do look like we're going to see as they position themselves for the spawn of the mid triad in the shop. Looks like the side of Toxic Armada just going to be careful, stay in the bush, and now the engagement comes in. They're looking to try to steal it away. Oskuri, they're not going to manage it. Perhaps this should land, and they do actually manage to steal it. That is brilliant for Oskuri there, managed to take that one away and go on to Oskuri as well. That's going to be a really good goal to get him ahead.
Yeah, Kensei needs all the gold he can get early on. He's not very good hero until he reaches like 2-3 itemization items. So he needs that help. Buttercup just hanging out in this bush waiting for what's cooking. Bad Mojo not really showing up. I mean, technically speaking, Toxic Armada is a bit of a bad mojo because they're toxic, right? So
are they just bad?
They're the kind of monkeys, right?
They
sort of works.
They're just Baptiste, like being.
Oh, I just got a crazy idea. They should have picked Ozo to be the proper bad mojo.
Oh well,
unfortunately they did not.
Ozo and Baptiste. There you go. Because Baptiste obviously is called bad mojo. You can just spam people with your talk.
Yeah.
Like.
So clearly bad itemizations against the Powerpuff Girls.
Clearly.
Or bad hero picks. Anyways, Blossom is gonna take this last barrier tree, and I think if Tsuki has nothing to say against that, gets a kick in the face for his troubles, forced to get away. Here comes a wild Kensei swishing around against Blossom, trying desperately to kill off that Inara. Alpha also wants to finish up. Prime Directive might finish off, not quite. And now the reboot has kicked off, and Powerpuff Girls are forced to go back. Buttercup getting caught in the end, and will get first blood for Kensei. Oh, and a follow-up from Alpha there, cleaning up house. Suki wants some blood.
Suki manages to out away as well. Almost catches Blossom there too. They will manage to clean out the entire jungle off on Powerpuff Girls and get back and shop. Now the gold lead, as we can see, has opened up to about 1,500 gold lead already for 3 minutes, and that's not what you want to see if you're Powerpuff Girls. We can see a snowball really starting to form, and it's going to be tough. I mean, these are the best in Europe in terms of the rank queue, Valhalla, Oskiri, and Suki in 3v3.
Bubbles is the best in the world because she's just so awesome.
Oh well, that's quite a feat to follow. I don't know how them.
People were asking what tier they are. They're tier 11. That's how skilled they are.
Yeah,
they break all the ranks.
They're beyond tier 10. Tier 10 is for noobs. Because tier 11.
But in all honesty, we don't know who at least I don't know who the people are behind the Powerpuff Girls team, so I have no idea what tier they are. They might be high level, they might not, and just have great ideas on names for their team.
They're just the Powerpuff Girls, that's who we know them as.
They're just awesome. That's what matters. Don't forget you're great.
Yeah, everyone is great, don't worry. And never forget that, people on the stream. You're always great.
Me successo, so it must be true. Anyways, Alpha reaching level 6 already is clearly having a little bit of an advantage early on in this game. Bubbles is farming away, and Nara is afraid to go to the shop. Full rotation. The early game going very well against this Powerpuff Girls team. I was a bit afraid of Kensei there, but he seems to have found his early kills to buff him up a little bit. So now he's even diving against Bubbles, is forced to use the flask there. Keep Alive is going to recall herself, and Ishtar used to be a full game hero, and now she's pretty much just late game hero. So I'm curious to see how that works out. Inara might be getting a little bit caught off guard there. Prime Directive onto her, doing some damage, but she gets kicked back in the face against the wall. Only the Crystal Sentry remaining there. Inara wants to recall, but Prime Directive.
Oh man!
Get away though.
Ronin though does manage to get. Now the Kensho is going to come in. They're looking for that fight, but Oskiri just can't quite.
It's an unkillable Inara. The power of the Druid is strong on this one.
I mean, well played there from Toxamada to try kill Inara, but Inara's so good at just managing to escape, so able just to kick back any enemies that try to engage on top of her. But will be the gold miner nonetheless, very quickly going down for the side of Toxamada.
Yeah, 2k gold advantage already for the side of Tox Armada, and we're starting to see a trend here. They're clearly dominating this, and it's only gonna get worse as Kensei escalates his build path. The late game doesn't look very good, doesn't look very promising for the Powerpuff Girls. They need a secret ingredient X to make this formula work for them.
Exactly. I mean, when Kensei
might
gets
get
the free
caught off guard here.
looking like it's going to break out. But I mean, when Kensei gets to 3, I think that's when realistically Kensei becomes really strong in the game. And they're looking for more rotations to jungle that don't find any. Just as a result, going to go back and counter this farm that is being pushed in under attack.
Yeah, Tsuki's just camping on the enemy jungle there, waiting for Blossom to show up. Oh, and Blossom takes the tree and gives a kick to the face. Can't dodge the Prime Directive though. Tries to get away, but the fish food locks her down and finishes her off. Well played from the side of Fox Armada.
Yeah.
Buttercup secures that little jungle.
This is just a class, realistically, this is just a masterclass on how to play 3v3. They're so aggressive, they're always in on the enemy jungle when the timers are up. Prime Directive once again onto Buttercup. Massive lesson is Crucible down, that's what you want to see. And now they continue again, the counter's not going to matter, Buttercup's really going to go down. Ishtar does pop the Ascension, is going to burst down Suki. In our bubbles, looking to find Osprey as well. The Ascension is there, Path of Ronin out, defensively used though, and that will keep him his life.
Bubbles is here to save the day. That extension on Ishtar overturning that team fight altogether. So well played. Bubbles defending Buttercup to the bitter end. And they might still have a foot in this game. I was getting a bit doubtful, but that Ishtar intervention on that team fight gave me some renewed hope that they might still be able to pull something off. We are 8 minutes in already, though. This gold miner starting to look a bit juicy, especially for Tsuki, which seems to be pretty uncontested on this jungle.
Definitely, I mean, the jungle is just looked absolutely dominant for both sides of the lane. For the side of top, Suki's been doing a great job at really pressuring the jungle, even up to this 8-minute mark now. Suki almost trying to find the Sandfang over the wall with a Prime Directive, but doesn't find them there.
Might have another team fight coming up here. Blossom wants a piece of this, tries to get into Valjala, kicks 2 members in the face, and they will
gold miner.
take the gold miner for themselves.
But they are engaging DPS enough, and they look like they want to steal this away, and it will actually go over to the side of Top Armada as they now continue over it. Now Batsuki going in with the water wall does manage to successfully kill the Ishtar. That's going to be 2 members now. Just freezes an absolute wipe. PS enough from the board. They're just going to take the percent, they're just going to take the turrets, and they're just going to completely snowball this game out now. 4,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, Barbara Fields is really struggling to do something against this early game aggression. Tsuki on this alpha so dominant, and now with the Kensei starting to get online as well, it's even worse. So they managed to engage, but they can't really counter-engage, so they really need to be careful with the positioning on Ishtar. As another team fight breaks out, Sandfang forced to get out. Forced the Prime Directive there.
Oh man, the massive lesson landed, and outright the Crucible did manage to secure 2 kills. 2 aggressive there from Suki and Osakiri going in. They thought they had it, but the massive lesson is still there for Buttercup to use, and unfortunately they're going to lose that team fight. That's going to be good goal to swing it back in favour for the Powerpuff Girls. Like, Blossom, very well played, goes into the jungle, gets that front camp, and now the gold lead slightly less, but still looking like 2,500, 3,000 gold in the lead still for this side of Tox Armada.
Yeah, the Prime Directive into the side of the turrets without the reboot being online was a little bit too much for this alpha. But I think they still have advantage here if they have a team fight without the range of the turrets. They're starting up the gold miner, so they clearly want another team fight. Buttercup does have vision there and pops up a flask. Let's see who gets this gold miner. Goes for the side of the red team, and then engage coming up. Kensei going hard, trying to finish off one. It's Inara that goes down, and Ishtar goes down, everyone goes down. Just complete wipeout there. They seem to be able slightly to be able to kill someone off, but then the reversal just Alpha so dominant, just cleaning everyone.
You just can't deal with the damage that is coming out from this melee focused comp. You can't engage them onto the gold miner because you're going straight into a melee based composition, and that's what they want. And
Push.
as the Ishtar and the Inara, you do not want to be in the range of this Alpha. You do not want to be in the range of Curie on this Kensei. And Bubbles looks like it's going to be burst down, but Master's Lesson will save his life for now. Now the fish food is going to be used, and unfortunately it will be the Sand Thing losing his life and just completely destroying the Powerpuff Girls here.
Inara still manages to farm all her jungle before dying, though. So that's a nice effort on the side of Inara there. But in the end, it's Alpha. Oh, Prime Directive onto Ishtar here. Mortal Wounds applied. It's going dangerously low. Needs to be careful. I was hoping for another Prime Directive into the base to finish her off. But no, that would be a little bit too much even for Tsuki.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's so aggressive. They're looking for a bait here. They're securing Valhalla. They can't quite find it. So they're just going to go back and secure their own jungle camps, which are coming up secured. Some vision onto the Kraken now. Is obviously we are 12 minutes into the game. We are 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold in the lead for the side of Tox Armada. They've opened up a gold lead very significant right now. And realistically, Powers are going to need a miracle to get back into this game.
Yeah, the late game is here. Kensei dominating. Alpha's snowballed properly. Another engage coming out, and Inara already way down. Is forced to use the kick to get away, jumping over the walls. Ishtar is there trying to do some damage. They do get the Kraken. Will they get the steam fight? Probably not. Ishtar forced to run away and leave Sandfang to fend for himself. And Inara also seems pretty dead. The Alpha finisher off. Now Burkup, all alone. I'm just a big cat, alone in the world, about to die. They did get the Kraken though. That's better than nothing. I guess.
Certainly. I mean, you saw the Ishtar just desperate trying to get rid of the objective on the side of Tox Armada. Had the Kraken gone over to the side of Tox Armada, that would have been the game at 13 minutes. But not going to do much Kraken with that much value against it, isn't it? It only gets one tower and a little bit of chip onto the second tower, but nothing really I think that Tox Armada are going to worry about. That was only the first turret gone at 13 minutes, so excellent defensive work as well as offensive work going for the side of Tox Armada.
The speed of attack of Kensei already is just so deadly. And he wants that speed to
use free items. Perk. This is where he comes online.
Yeah, exactly. They're waiting on the bush. They might get surprised. Even the Crystal Sentry can help them. They just don't do any damage whatsoever. They just let the Crystal Sentry go. And now Oscar is even more empowered. He's going 1 versus 3.
Yeah, not too strong just yet to do 1 versus 3, but we just can't contest because they know that we can't contest into this melee composition here, PSNL. And they're going threads in, the fight has begun, and now the fight is going to go on to the Inara, having to use the kick in, or just to get on out of there. Blossom and Bubbles having to heal up. They are so aggressive against the side of the Power-Up Girls here. They just managed to get away, but they used all their abilities to do it, and unfortunately only Ascension and obviously Master's Lesson still up both for the side of Powerpuff Girls. Do manage to secure the tree ant there for the side of us. Quite a couple does have it, but it doesn't matter about Master's Lesson if the rest of the team is dead. Now the waterfall has been popped on to the Alpha out 1400 damage coming out now. They're second on to Valhalla. Unfortunately, Valhalla perhaps getting up more than the shoe. The Powerpuff Girls, the Crucible does come out, but it doesn't matter. Sandfang's now gone on the back line. Now it's going to be an hour falling down too, and that will be the game as they ace the entire side of Powerpuff Girls. 20 seconds of respawn time with a Sandfang, 10 an hour. Doesn't matter, as they're just going to walk their way into the base and take game number 3.
Yeah, Valhalla with the Lorelei is not the target you want to kill first when you're an Ishtar. But this game was pretty much done. I think they won on the draft. Tox Armada here. Nice effort from the Powerpuff Girls, though, playing it through until the very end. The very dominating performance from Tsuki on that jungle. And when Oscuri came online with all those Kensei items, it was just good night, sweet prince, as Maxman says. So, well played from both teams. Tox Armada moves on in the tournament. And let's see if we have teams ready for the next game of the matchup.
Yeah, wicked. What do you think of that?
we all know that Oscar and those guys would be like really hard. I don't know much about this How can I
You
not
don't watch Cartoon
root for a
Network?
girl? Yeah, how can I not root for a girl team? It's like awesome. But yeah, I'm sad to see them be out, and they probably could have been like matched up with a little bit easier team, but that's not
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I think if they had been matched up right against like an easier team, I think probably they might have gone through to the next round. They did actually put up a good
Yeah,
fight
they
against.
they did put up a good fight. I have to give them that. It looked like they had a chance in the beginning. Ishtar is strong.
Next up, we have Virtual Squad versus the Sexy Pineapples. Virtual Squad with G Gentix, Calypsic Beast, Samir AL, and Robin Hood VG against Sexy Pineapples with Gromy, VGX, Strange Pineapple, and Kyusu9. Let's see if we can get people onto the party to get this fourth match starting.
Yeah, it certainly looks interesting. I
Do
mean,
you
these
recognize
names-
anyone from these teams, Highland?
I know Kyusu9, but I'm not sure what he plays. I just know the name that he is around in the 5v5 meta. He is around in 3v3 as well. But certainly a lot of his people I'm not sure about. Obviously, I don't do 3v3. I obviously cast 5v5 tournaments more often. So this is something a lot of new names to me. But certainly some good action so far. And I think the names just get better, man. I think the team names are blooming amazing. I love these
The
teams.
Virtual Squad.
Yeah.
I'm not real.
The sexy pineapples, yeah.
Like, how can it go wrong?
I would love to be a sexy pineapple.
I love regular pineapples already, and if they're sexy, it's like the extra element right there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would love to be a sexy pineapple, but I'm not good enough to be a sexy pineapple. Unfortunately, I'm just a mediocre caster, I'm afraid. I'm not good enough for this team.
You're biased against sexiness.
Obviously, yeah. I'm just jealous.
I'm just jealous. I'm jealous of the pineapples.
Yep.
They're so sexy, and I'm not. Anyways, do you have a list on the bands? I think it's been announced already. Let's see if Durgan Kieran is
what do we think
asking.
of the match so far, Wicked? Have there been any surprises?
Well, I am surprised that my team is out. I have to say, a little bit sad about that.
I can't believe the builds from them, though. I mean, I think you need to have a talk with them about CP Finn.
CP Finn is so good.
Oh, is this why? So it comes from you, where it comes from? Like, you told them? Okay. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of CP Finn, but I mean, I don't know, 3v3.
You just don't understand art. We already had this discussion. CP Finn is the best.
Yeah.
Especially, you're a 5 versus 5 player. You should know that CP Finn works wonders on the mid lane. You should definitely play
on
it.
the mid lane. Is that why I'm not tier 10 gold yet?
Ask Shadow about it. He knows all about CP Finn on the mid.
When you start CP Finn, you never go back.
Anyways, we have information on the bans already. Virtual Squad will ban Viola, and Sexy Pineapple will ban Blackfeather. What do you think of these bans, Highland?
I'm not too surprised by the Viola. The Blackfeather is, I think, surprising bad, but in the same way, it's not. Perhaps Sexy Pineapples are looking to go for a range kind of poke composition if they're banning out the Blackfeather. But again, perhaps the same with Virtual Squads. They could be both going for something that isn't dive. Both Viola and Blackfeather are divey sort of heroes. But again, Virtual Squad could be going aggressive. I mean, Viola, if it were played on the side of Sexy Pineapples, it is great against Miho, it's great against Blackfeather, Kensei. Always hard engage heroes with the dissonance and with the lullaby on Viola. So, yeah, I think this tells us a lot about what we could be going.
I think we only had one Viola so far, or did we have two?
We had one.
You had one, and she was all right. She wasn't that bad. I'm still curious about the rework that they did to her on the update 4.9. I haven't seen her being played that much. I haven't played her since the rework. I only played her a few times before the rework, to tell you the truth. Anyways, but she seems a very interesting hero, like definitely more versatile than the other support heroes out there. So I'm curious to see people playing her more seriously. But we have seen from these matches so far in the tournament that people have been prioritizing captain bans on Churnwalker. And Churnwalker is definitely very strong on 3 versus 3. Those chains really put up a lot of damage and healing to your team fights, and also the stuns. So we'll see how things work out. We're still waiting for a few people from Virtual Squad to come in. We only have
some people obviously needed to update the game.
Oh
Obviously.
my goodness.
Isn't this like things you check out before you go into a tournament, guys? Like,
Yeah, well, I will
I don't
certainly
know.
check it out.
well, the release was only yesterday, or 2 days ago. So yeah, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, let's do that. Let's just give them a couple of more minutes.
Let's see how fast the update system is right now, people. If you were wondering if the update is faster on Thursday or on Saturday, you will be able to have a live report now. It seems to be taking a long time so far.
Because 2 people are updating, so let's hope that
Oh
they-
man, let's hope their Wi-Fi's good.
Are they like
Yeah, oh
on
my
the
God.
same operating system or on different one? Because we could have like a race
Let's
if it
hope
updates
not.
faster on iOS or Android. If
Oh,
that's
are
the
we
case.
going into Android versus iOS now? We're like faster.
I don't
I
think we
mean,
should go there.
No, let's not. Let's not go there.
It depends on the version, of course, of the Android and the iOS.
Mhm.
I personally use an NVIDIA tablet, K1.
Oh my
and
goodness!
it's,
Well,
pretty decent.
we're getting into dodgy territory now, PSNL.
You just play on the desktop, right, Highland? The best mobile MOBA experience is on desktop.
Yes, exactly. On
When I use touch, they only optimized it for touch.
Yeah. Who needs touch when you've got the keyboard and mouse?
Yeah.
Making Vainglory PC experience. But
Buttery
no,
smooth experience.
yeah, I think honestly that the first 3 games have been pretty interesting. There's been a lot of questionable decisions, but there's also been a lot of good plays, I think, from these teams. I think from what I've gathered, I think the teams need to probably be a little bit more wary of where they are, and certainly in terms of
Position.
positioning and builds. I think are the 2 things that we need to like look at here. Is like the positioning like of some
And not dying.
yeah.
When you don't die, it helps a lot to win the
Well,
team fight.
yes. I'm not an expert at that, I'm afraid. I'm not, an
At
expert
not
at that.
dying?
Yeah, I tend to feed a lot. I'm pretty boosted.
Just to give the opponents a little bit of a chance to get into the matchup. So it's
Yeah,
like
for
giving
sure.
them a little handicap to make sure that the game is more enthralling for everyone.
Yeah, let's hear it from the professional though. Wicked, what do you think? What do you think that these future teams need to do to improve?
First, install the game before you start the matches.
Oh,
Yes,
true.
that's a good thing. Make sure you have
that's-
14 different heroes.
Yes,
software.
yes, exactly.
Can
Make sure you
guys
don't have
that's
to.
coming up after do this.
Yeah.
So
Oh
it
my
saves time.
goodness. Yeah, this also this saves time.
Um,
But
I do think
Mm.
that maybe they should think a little bit more about how they draft actually. Like they have this
Drafting?
opportunity to get 2 bans.
It's curious how things changed a little bit, because I was casting some 3 versus 3 matches on a few tournaments like maybe a year ago, and it seemed like the meta was going a lot more for a full carry, hyper carry, like one carry only and two supports.
I think it could still be that. Like, I think it could still be a hyper carry situation if you wanted it to be. But I think with certainly the early stages, teams don't want to risk. I think the idea of only having one carry, and if it doesn't work, then they lose that and they're eliminated from the first round in the tournament.
Yeah, but if you have two support carries like I don't know, a Lorelei and a Grace, it's impossible to kill your carry before he kills you.
Exactly. The water wall and obviously divine intervention from the Lorelei and the Grace are so good, especially in 3-3, and also the Grace as well allows you to zone out your opponents again. Also with the splashdown on the Lorelei as well is another ability which you can use to zone out your opponents, especially on 3v3, where actually the splashdown covers pretty much an entire part of the jungle. So definitely two really strong heroes for 3v3.
Yeah, I remember a few tournaments that I played where we had like a hyper carry Baron or a hyper carry Vox or a hyper carry even Kestrel, and it just does so much damage, like 4 attack items, no defense itemizations whatsoever. Just leave everything to your supports, like the fountains, the crucibles, whatever. And it can really do a lot of damage, but you need to be high skilled to pull it off. And it's especially interesting to see that meta evolve because it came from the 5 versus 5. Like, they changed the meta on 5 versus 5 so much to have those more tanky itemization heroes to have more utility for a full 5 team, that they ended up coming into the 3 versus 3 and just make a little bit of sense to have a hyper carry instead of the 2 usual carries for the lane and the jungle. So I'm really curious to see if we are going to see more of that. We kind of saw that with one of the games where we had a hyper carry Celeste, but she wasn't really hitting the damage, so it ended up not quite working out for them. But I'm curious to see if we will have more teams doing that with a weapon carry, for example.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think going into these future games as well, like as I say, like the builds need to be on point. I think just you need to have a plan. As you say, Wicked, you need to be prepared with the fact that you've got 2 bans. You need to have a plan on who you're going to be picking. You need to have a plan on how you're going to be building to survive these games, because initially, if you are going to be going something like obviously we had this the CP Finn, but we had a Finn, the Grumpjaw in I can't remember the other carry, but certainly a carry anyways. The Celeste, I think it would have been much better if we had obviously switching mind, we had the CP Celeste and we had weapon power Grumpjaw. It would have made it much better. Grumpjaw was in that fight for so long that it would have made it really good for the Grumpjaw to actually be able to put out the damage as well, be able to eat a person off of the solver or the housing fold, and then actually take them out of the fight and kill off the other carry that's left alone when you've got one of them already stuffed in your belly.
Alright, team, one person has finished his update. His name is Samir IAI. Please give him a round of applause for finishing the update. Thank you, Samir. Woohoo!
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, we still have one person.
More.
Yeah.
Oh man,
one more person.
Honestly,
and we should be ready to go.
This is where you turn around and be like, so you got to sit in your base for 5 minutes while the other enemies get like a 5-minute head start because you failed to update the game. Like they get to take at least they take at least 5 turrets in your vein crystal before you're allowed to move.
I just got ordered to swap the sides here, so I guess I will do that. And
we're waiting for a sub, so we're waiting on a sub now. For the sides.
Let's see if we have information on the bans, so we have something to comment while we wait for the sub to come in from the side of Virtual Squad. Virtual Squad, they're living up to their name. They're really virtual. They're like not really existing.
Certainly.
No.
No.
They have 2 to choose from here, so shouldn't be that hard.
Obviously the bans again, like obviously are Viola, for decided the Virtual Squad, and for Black Feather for decided Sexy Pineapples. that will be the 2 bands taken off the board already. Obviously, in the Elite Order Winter Tournament, we do have 2 bands.
Dragon King is saying that it should be able to invite now, so Wicked's no. Search
I'm looking
desperately
at my
for a
list.
missing person.
I'm searching desperately for a missing person.
I mean, yeah, as obviously we do have like 2 bands for every elimination match in the group stage and the elimination stage, and the quarterfinals. And then we will be moving into the semi-finals, and the finals we will be having 3 bands for every side. So that's gonna change up, I think, certainly the strategy bit for the 3v3 meta, where I think the bands are kind of overrated. When you've only got 1, so now that you've got definitely some strategies going to be coming out here for both teams.
Yeah, talking about bans, I'm surprised no one banned Saw yet. Like, Saw is such a strong character on 3 versus 3, especially support. That's
where's the teleport boots? I can't teleport.
Yeah, with teleport boots, it's just insane. It's the problem that the main thing is that on 3 versus 3 you don't have teleport boots. So that's how they ruin all your strategy.
Mm-hmm. What you could do is you could go Yates and Idris, and then you go inside the Yates using like your shimmer on like your Idris, your ultimate, and then he jumps into the base onto the vein crystal and use it game battle. That's the way I would do it. That's basically teleport boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a way to.
So Wicked Snow, how's that desperate looking for someone? Still desperate?
I just gave them 1 minute, and if not, I'm gonna say that this is the forfeit, and the other team win.
Yeah. Sounds legit.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah. Taking a while, yeah. Definitely update your game, guys. Like you're the future team. Next team playing, make sure you're on 4.9 and not 4.8. Yeah, that is something. And also make sure you have 14 heroes, because if you don't, then I'm afraid you will not be playing.
Buy an all-team pass. You can buy a pass. That's fine.
And then lose the game and then waste the pass.
but they already. I mean, these accounts will last forever. Puddles, Buttercup, and Blossom. We will always want to play them. So it's a good investment for the future.
Yes, future investment. So the next winter tournament, we can come in and clap some people on these all-access passes that they bought.
So if you just tuned in, we're still waiting for one last person to join so we can get the 5th game. Is it the 5th game or the 4th game? I think it's the 5th.
4th game? Yep.
Okay.
It's the 4th game, yes. We have still 2 games to go. So that's why we are not going to waste more on this.
No, yeah. Go straight ahead. Yeah, make sure, obviously, like.
Will the sexy pineapples win by forfeit? Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Pineapples have scared off the virtual sports.
Because I think it's too late to get in a sub team right now, and maybe we will arrange a match for them tomorrow against one of the other teams subs that we have waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think virtual squad lost their opportunity.
They were virtual. They were not real. That was the problem. Anyways, let's move on to the next game then. Hellflames versus Divergent Fate. Divergent Fate is a team that I know quite well. I casted them a lot of times. So I'm very curious to see how they will play up. Let's take a look at the players that will be on the roster. On the side of Hellflames, we will have Old Gree, Bars11, Lord One of One Darkness, and MGon. And on the side of Divergent Fate, we will have Crocobulia, Deka on your screen, Lukis, and Ectalion. So very interesting to see how the Divergent plays out. They are clearly the favorites in my regard. I'm expecting the final to be Divergent Fate versus Tox Armada.
Are you calling it now? Am I going to call you out in this? Like...
You can call me out if you want. So let's go. Let's go, bro.
The thing is, we don't have the other team up until 9, so I think that maybe we should take like a small break and give them an opportunity to get into Discord and like just get connected with them.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, guys, time to get hydrated, go to the bathroom, eat your dinner, and we'll back in how many minutes, Wicked?
I would say we are going on in 12 minutes.
Okay.
And
Deka
we
is saying on the
write
chat
9 o'clock.
that Deka is saying Deka on your screen is saying that they need to play on the schedule or that they won't be able to play. So I don't know what's up with that, but
So at
please
9 o'clock,
talk with them.
they are on schedule. So
10
we're
minutes.
just gonna,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes from now. Okay. So come back in 10
So
minutes,
great.
guys. Remember to stay hydrated. Don't forget you're great.
we are hopefully ready.
Welcome back, everyone.
And of course, one left.
They heard us coming in.
Right,
about
right,
we had
Oh,
all players ready to start the game, and then one person left as we start the stream.
yes.
But
We were
we'll
all
re-invite him back
prepared.
in, and we should be able to get this matchup going between Hellflames and Divergent Fate. We already have the
Hopefully
bans
he's
information.
just restarting.
Hellflames will ban Vox, and Divergent Fate will ban Churnwalker. So, interesting bans. Highland, what do you think of these bans, Vox and Churnwalker?
I think Vox is, given 4.9 update with the buffs to Vox, obviously on his Sonic Zoom, and obviously now scaling on how much damage he does per level on his basic attacks. I think is a no-brainer, but Vox is now banned. Churnwalker, one of these interesting ones that I think is depending on what kind of composition they're trying to go for. I'm not sure if they actually know Hellflames in
We
games
are
if they play Churnwalker.
Starting this up, guys.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
don't want to waste another minute while we are having them all
Deploy!
here. Deploy.
Yeah, I think Churnwalker is one of these heroes that are specific and that they probably could be going for something like a Finn, like doing tanky in the front line. Churnwalker could be up against
Arden. The best
them
support
dudes.
is Arden. Everybody knows that.
No, my
Ever.
favorite's Finn. My favorite's Finn. I have to disagree.
Catherine was very high priority, but since the nerf, it doesn't seem that people are picking her at all. So I'm wondering how much of a nerf she really got. Like, does it really show in the games that she got that nerfed? Or is she still viable as a captain overall? Like, if you want those stuns, if you want that silence on. We seem to have the second ban on Blackfeather, which also seems pretty broken hero so far. 3 versus 3. Let's see what the side of Divergent Fate will go for the second ban. They will ban Sanfeng. And this leaves Hellflames to pick the first pick as, drumroll, wait for it, pick saw, pick saw, pick saw, pick saw, saw port for life. Petal, petal!
I got it!
Yeah.
See, I call it. I say petal and it comes out. I am a god, Vainglory. I thank everyone.
You are
now,
drafting
I'm
god,
done.
Highland.
Yeah, like, I can call bans before, like, or picks before you even, like, being...
Now, the problem with Petal is that you need to be very aggressive early on, and against the Grumpjaw, it's going to be very hard to be aggressive early on. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup on the jungle straight off the bat between this Petal and the Grumpjaw. If the Petal, of course, stays in the jungle, because it can be a lane Petal, although it's not as strong, in my humble opinion, but still pretty viable. Petal has the fastest attack speed of the entire game. If you remove Saw after his spun up, then he has the fastest attack speed. But it seems they're going to pick up Gwen for the lane. So we'll have a Petal jungle indeed. And the Lorelei is the support role. So a lot of fish food coming out, trying to stun people up. Those water walls for extra burst of defense shield. Let's see what Divergent Fate will go for their lane carry.
Yeah, looks like it could be an Adagio being knocked in here. Having a kinetic would be good as well, but Adagio against the minions would make sense. It would, as you can proc, your perk onto the minions and allow that empowered basic attacks to really burn through the entire side of Hellflames.
Seems good. Nice draft. I think in terms of draft, they are pretty even out. I think there's a slight advantage for Divergent Fate, mostly because I favor Grumpjaw early on, but you need to play it well against Petal. If you lose those stacks, if you let the minions of Petal take those stacks away, then you're pretty much screwed. But if you keep attacking the minions, destroying them, keeping your stacks up, you can overlast that confrontation, and eventually they will run out of minions and you will be able to kill Petal off. So let's see how they play it off early game. if we will have any jungle invasions whatsoever. We are just now going into the Halcyon Fold. Looking for some Santa hats. I don't see any. I see some pumpkin hats. I see some halos. I don't see any Santa. So it feels bad, man.
Yeah, Christmas not early enough. I think I can't wait for Christmas. I've got all my spices and stuff. I've got my cinnamon and raisin bagels I bought from the shop the other day. You know, I'm getting the Christmas spirit for everything.
You're prepared.
Yeah, I'm prepared, man. I'm prepared. And we look like the engagement is coming out here from this side of Divergent Fate. And
Hellflame's forced to back off to their own jungle.
Hellflames definitely just have to respect the engagement and early game power that comes out from the Adagio and also the Grumtroll and even the Lyra to an extent. So it's going to be hard for them in this early game, especially with something like a Petal. Adagio really is going to make Petal's life quite a misery. Grumtroll is also very good as able to take the probably the win, put Lorelei out the fight, and allow them just to focus on one carry, and they can then delete it down in the late game fight.
Yeah, now Grumtroll rotating here. Let's see if we have an early engage. Nope. Vainglory jumps out of the way. Tries to dive back in now, but not enough damage to really get a first blood out of this engage. Rotate back down, get the healing tree out.
Here we are, right?
Up again.
Yeah, there's less than 2 minutes into the game. The gold lead is still even, but has been popular by Deca, as that was tough engagement echoing from both Barnes and Old Green. Having a lot of pressure in this lane.
Dodging that fish food very skillfully there.
Yeah, no pressure, no counter pressure coming from the side of the jungle either. So that's going to be a negative flash popped there already for Deca. It's going to make it hard for him to engage onto this fight. The fish food has connected onto the archer once again. And now
Deca very low. When you already used the flask, you need to be careful.
Yeah, Bar's really doing work here in the lane.
Rockable, yeah.
Really, yeah.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. This is fine.
Yeah, the flask hasn't been popped crucially by Crocodile, so he's still got the flask in his kit.
You know what I really miss, Highland? Minion candy. That's what I miss.
Minion candy? Oh man. Well, I mean, certain rim for Deca if there was a minion candy in that wave, you know.
Yeah. Might have another engage here where Bars manages to get away from the claws, the tusks of that Grumpjaw. And this lane will get cleared, and another jungle rotation coming out. So Lord of Darkness will try to get this barrier tree ant, but the Grumpjaw is all over him. So maybe not. Maybe go to your own jungle, stay safe, wait for the late game. Well, I don't think a battle is very good late game.
It's not going to be a very good late game, exactly.
But then again, Grumpjaw also falls a bit down on the late game, so...
Grumpjaw always has the stuff though, right? Like, Grumpjaw always is relevant no matter what time.
And Petal will get those heals.
Yeah. But I just think that Petal's going to fall off a bit, especially against, Adagio's Gift of Fire.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just going to be so hard for him to keep those minions alive as the game moves on and Adagio starts to get more items in his kit, because Adagio right now isn't going to be too strong against 2v1, but as we move on later he can start to really run down the enemy with the damage he's going to be having, and he's going to be out of this.
Alright, 4 minutes in, no kills. Feels bad, man. Crocodile lurking that shop, waiting for something.
I just want some action. I want some kills. Run it down. Yeah.
Bring down the blood.
Yeah. Time for everyone to run it down. You know, like get the kills on the board.
Back overextending a little bit there, getting punished by Bars. And now it's Old Gree that gets, I think he might have gotten disconnected. He kind of stopped there. And no, Bars 1 is one that gets killed in the end by Ectalion. Everything going wrong for Hellflames on this matchup. They do manage to get the kill onto Adagio, though.
Yeah, turret managing to finish that one off. They do manage to find a petal, though. Finally, I mean, they get her under her own turret. They're now looking for more.
Now they need to be careful here.
They're looking for but a big food back next. Unfortunately, that's going to be the goes down. And I think he has to run for his life. Surprisingly, a bit of aggressive from the side of Divergent Fate. I thought they would be a bit more respectful. Certainly, the names this team. You would think that they would respect the enemy team a little bit more. No?
They were a bit cornered there. They had to go for the team fight, and they almost got it. I think it was the Aces High that managed to keep them alive.
The healing buff, sorry. I didn't need that healing. They could have just taken the kill off of Petal, which was already aggressive to take in the first place. They lost Adagio already for it. And then to continue to try to find a further lead is too much. So they try and desperately get the first to try to go down very quickly. Now will be the first pick of the game going towards the side of Divergent.
And Curious itemization on the side of Divergent Fate. They're going for double CP. I was expecting a weapon Grumpjaw, but apparently not. Ooh, nice fish food there. Catches two members. Deck almost dead. Italian tries to reverse, but ends up dying himself. Cocabulia has to run away into his healing pit. And now the chase down is real. This Petal wants blood. Not quite connecting anything. And the poke damage coming out. Deck ends up dying in the end. Well played from Hell Flames doing the reversal here. And they will get a turret for themselves. Here comes a Grumpjaw for the teleport.
Yeah,
not quite
not
quite on time. Get any kills off.
Yeah, I mean, I think just aggressive again from the side of Divergent Fate. They're asking for a lot, and I like the fact that you pointed out this build here, PSNL. They're not going for this double. They are sorry going for this double CP and not going for the weapon power Grumpjaw. I think that would have been much more powerful Spellfire, and Grumpjaw isn't going to do that much. Considering the abilities don't really, they're not up too often anyway. They don't.
Well, if you have cooldown, you have them all up quite often.
They don't do a lot of Spellfire damage, I think, is like, and also Spellfire. Now with the rework, the more CP damage you already have in your kit, the better Spellfire is going to be. So going first item, the Grumpjaw Spellfire, with no.
Well, you always hit Spellfire first item, whatever hero you pick, right?
Oh, so, but not after the rework, definitely not. I think after the rework on something like a Grumpjaw, you need to see damage because they've now changed it obviously to where the fight will break out.
Ooh, a nice eating here now on their support. Aces connecting onto Grumpjaw, though manages to get all three into safety. And now it's Grumpjaw that it's very low. The Crucible getting popped, trying to desperately save him. Not enough damage. Now here comes the ultimate from Adagio, trying to get everyone. Manages to stun two of them. Will it be enough to kill anyone off? He manages to get the Petal. Not enough to get the rest, and Lyra is forced to portal away into safety.
Yeah,
nice engage there, Highland.
Yeah, definitely a good engage there, and that one-for-one trade that we see, but the gold lead now dead, even realistically in the chart of the gold lead for the side of Hellflame.
I wanted to say something about the Spellfire itemization. I think it's mostly to cut down the healing of Petal, or the barrier of Lorelei.
You have both a Lorelei and a
Petal. But you could do that with Poison Shiv as well, so...
Exactly, yeah. You could just go with Poison Shiv and do the exact same. I think Spellfire, Poison Shiv doesn't require 3 weapon power damage in your kit already, whereas Spellfire requires pre-CP in your kit to make the most of that item. So it's kind of a mistake in my opinion also to go not just 2 CP damage, but to go Spellfire first.
Yeah, it's not the first time that we're seeing the CP Grumpjaw. I'm more of a fan of a weapon Grumpjaw, so I find this quite peculiar. Anyways, we have the chase down from Gwen trying to put that poke damage onto the backside of Grumpjaw. He doesn't know if he should engage or not engage. He decides to disengage. Well played from Divergent Fate. Save your Grumpjaw for another day.
Exactly, man. And Grumpjaw obviously now looking to come back into the fight. He's looking to try and engage it, trying to find a way in here. And they're just looking to reset that lane and then push back out for the next objective. Obviously, we're only 10 minutes into the game, so still 2 minutes until the Kraken respawns.
Curious to see the itemization on Petal as well. She went for a Dragon's Eye, so clearly doesn't want to do that burst damage. She wants to stay long on those team fights. Curious to see how that will work out for them. Gwen, on the other hand, went for more burst damage, Sorrow Blade and Tension Bow, and a Breaking Point as well. So really doing a lot of damage. Let's see if we have another engage coming out here. Rectalion just taking some poke damage.
I'm gonna use this just looking good delayed now. Side of Hellflames against Divergent Fate here. Looking to clear the lane. It looks like weird find so much damage, and that will be the combination that they need. Bars goes down, both the Petal already removed, and now Lorelei just running for her life. That was such a good play there.
What about that combo there? Oh yeah, my god.
That combo.
Start the ultimate of Adagio and then the portal comes out, and Adagio just mysteriously getting teleported into the middle of the fray and stunning or hitting most of the enemy team. Such a cool combo to see. Very cool, similar to the Sunfang thing, but with Adagio.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately it won't stun anyone up because you can't obviously put your perk down on them free hand to do that.
Nice counter engage here from McCallum, trying to disperse this team fight. That guy is fully stacked. Can he do something? Trying to kill someone off. All of them seem to be dying, including Adagio himself.
I mean, that's just a wipe. That's just a wipe, man.
Yeah, wipe out.
They're going to get another tap for it. Surely, is the Ace Minions rush down into that choke point tower, and that's going to be so important with cracking up. If they get a cracking now, that's going to make it so much easier for them.
Yeah, attacking when Adagio had that buff from the Crystal Sentry was not the smartest idea. So they will have to play it very carefully, and the vision is in favor of Divergent Fate here. Just got cleared up by Old Griot. Fates check this bush, but Ectelion decides to back off. A rendezvous with the rest of the team. Bars recalling. Got himself Infusion maybe. And the Kraken got started up as Crocobile goes scout what's happening with the enemy team. Kraken already half health. Lord of Darkness still poking damage on Crocobile, ignoring the Kraken. They do have vision about it though, so they know it's happening. The ultimate coming down, very well hit. Tries to hit all three members. Petal going down, or almost down. She seems to be recovering from that. The ace is high, quite connecting there with one person, but not enough to keep that Gwen alive. Petal is forced to jump away into safety. Almost kills someone there with one of his ultimates. Crocobile arrives to heal. A very nice engage. Once again, the synergy of those ultimates working in favor of Divergent Fate. They seem to be ahead right now, Highland.
Definitely there's so much control actually there from the side of Divergent Fate to pull them away from the Kraken there. And now it's actually going to be not still enough. I thought Fishwick was going to get it there, but Divergent Fate do manage to secure the objective. About this Kraken, how hard is it going to defend this Kraken? They do look like they've managed to pull them away from the objective though, which will give them the time that they need to take down this beast. We are 14 minutes into the game, guys. We're now 5,000 gold lead for the side of Divergent Fate as well. 32,000 gold to almost 37,000 gold here.
Not much of an escort though. They might be able to get this Crystal Sentry, or they might get surprised. Let's see if deck on your screen arrives in time. Fishfoot not connecting there. Ice is high connecting onto Grumpjaw. He does no longer have the stacks. Needs to be very careful there. They decide to disengage, which is wise.
Looks like they're going in for it again. Yes, enough, and they managed to find their damage. They've done it again, and that's going to be 2 kills. Going over the water wall onto Bar is not going to be enough as he's now hunted down. That will be the final member, and it will be the game. PS enough.
What a final team fight.
Minions out. They fail to block the Adagio ultimate again, and that's going to cost them their spot in this tournament as they lose and are eliminated.
That ultimate combo from Adagio and Lyra, so beautiful. We saw it in action at least 3 or 4 times on this game. Very well played. On this particular one, I think the Adagio already had Gift of Fire on someone and managed to actually stun someone up. So very nice combo there. I wasn't very convinced with the double CP option there, but they managed to pull it off and make it work with those combos. So very well played. Congratulations to Divergent Fate. They move on in the tournament. Well played, Hell Flames. You put up a good fight, but not enough to kill off Divergent Fate.
Yeah, definitely. Divergent Fate just too strong.
Really good game. Really close for a while.
Yep, very close indeed. Let's see who we have next up on the fight. Let's see the schedule. It's looking like we will have Superior Squad versus Bow Sports, the final game of today.
Yes.
We have the teams ready within a short moment.
We hope so.
Let's see the name of the teams. On the side of Superior Squad, we'll have Mac Jake, Stashel Panzer, Combo Man 2000, and Lunar Umbra. And on the side of most parts, we have Yo Means Yo, Mentos, Little Mo, and Phase 1. So let's see if we have the players available for the game to get started relatively soon. Should be a minute or two. Highland, speak to me.
Yes, no, certainly. As obviously Superior Squad, obviously, and Motorsports, the last 2 teams for tonight's games that we've got going on, the 6th match from tonight. Superior Squad, as we say, again, a lot of unknowns, but I do know about Matt Jake Phase 1. These are players that we've seen past 3v3, so both on either teams, definitely going to be interesting to see if they're going to be playing with us today, and if they are, what they can be bringing to their squads.
Yeah, definitely. I'm seeing a player that's not listed. I don't know if that's a substitute, a late substitute or not. Wicked, do you have any info on that?
Which one are we looking at? Oh, the MGL. Yes.
Yeah.
He is one of their subs, actually.
Okay.
Because I think one of them are, maybe we're not able to play.
Okay, let's wait for the remaining players to join us. And the cameraman also. They say
Yes.
camera is important when you're streaming a tournament. Let's take this wonderful opportunity to thank T. Merlini for all his camera work as well as the graphics for all the overlays and stuff. He's been doing a hell of a good job. I really like the graphics work. So thank you, Merlini, for that. And Durgan Karen for also organizing the stuff on the back line. I keep asking him, Durgan King, for what the bands are right after he already posted them.
The thing is, we are like a little bit ahead right now. Those guys still have 9 minutes to get online.
It's okay. Highland Wolf has a nice tap dancing routine that he
I have
exemplify
dancing.
right now.
Oh yes, I
We are
do.
professional
Yes.
casters. We are prepared
I am.
for 9 minutes idle time.
9 minutes of Vox dancing, you know. Oh man.
Yeah, river dancing.
Dude, I see these moves. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh,
Vox so nice.
I never knew I could be so good on on the Halcyon Fold.
Vox on Ice does all the river dancing you ever need. So it seems we'll have just a few minutes wait. So if you want to get yourself a little bathroom break or some water, now is the right time to do so.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's still 8 minutes till the next match, guys. And we will be in for the final match of tonight.
And we had a pretty good day of games so far, like a lot of intense matches. So
Yeah, what do
very
you think about them? Like, do you think we've lived up to expectations?
yeah,
I think you guys have been awesome.
Like,
And
what?
like since
Mhm.
you guys maybe don't play, I don't know about you. Yes, enough. Like, do you play a lot of 3v3 yourself?
yeah, I mean, I'm tier 10 on both 5 versus 5 and 3 versus 3, so I try to play it. So I enjoy 3 versus 3 actually. It's a lot more dynamic than 5 versus 5. You don't have as much strategy, but I think it's more fun in some ways. I'm one of the guys that when 5 versus 5 got released, I felt like I'm like 3 versus 3 was what made Vainglory somewhat special. I mean, all MOBAs have that 5 versus 5 mid, top, and bottom thing, and what made Vainglory interesting was that it was the map was different, was smaller, was more compact, and the meta changes for 5 versus 5 sort of affected 3 versus 3 in a very strong way. Like we started seeing a lot of heroes that were just completely broken for 3 versus 3, and that still get banned today. Like Blackfeather is one of them. Rhyme also got very weird 3 versus 3 synergy stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy the 3 versus 3, and I enjoy casting 3 versus 3 tournaments. And this one has been quite interesting so far. I think we had a lot of cool matches today. Like right the first one was quite good, and I think we only had one of them that was a bit one-sided. The other three were pretty much tit for tat, which is always great for both us casters and the people watching. I think it's more fun for everyone. So I think it's been a positive first day so far.
For sure. I mean, I have to agree with you. Definitely, obviously, one of those games. Tox Armada were that team. Unfortunately, Powerpuff Girls unfortunately drew a short straw. I think, against Tox Armada, it was very one-sided, unfortunately. But for the rest of the games, you have to agree with you. It's been pretty interesting. Wicked, do you think we can expect even more epic games tomorrow?
Well, as we're going into like a quarterfinals tomorrow after the two first matches, I think so. I'm excited to watch Divergent Fate and these guys like against maybe Tox Armada. I think it can be like some epic 3v3 battles coming our way. And the
For
Roll Up
sure.
Gaming surprised me. Like they did an awesome game. So and White
Yeah,
Umbra as
I
well.
wasn't expecting Roland to win, so really was curious to see that. But they deserved
Yeah,
their win.
yeah, they certainly did. And the same way with White Umbra, with the Alpha Games and those guys against my teammates, of course. But they deserve the win, and yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see them tomorrow because that's obviously also a best of one. So after tomorrow night, standing with 4 teams that goes in semifinals.
Yeah, it's so quick that we lose so many for sure. But the bans are in, guys. We do obviously have the most sports banning the Catherine for their side, and Superior Squad have banned the Black Feather. So interesting bans. What do we think about these guys?
I can't quite agree with the Catherine ban, since the nerf of 4.9. I don't think she's that OP. But Blackfeather, I can definitely agree with that ban. I think Blackfeather is quite broken on 3 versus 3, especially if you can play him well. Mostly the CP build path. I've seen a lot of people play it also with the flux thingy, like be very tanky defensive, and it just has such natural attack damage that it becomes quite annoying to deal with. So yeah, Blackfeather definitely very strong hero on 3 versus 3 to be wary of. 3 versus 3 and 5 versus 5 pretty much.
For sure. Obviously, a reminder of the team size. We have Superior Squad, which consists of Mac8, Starshell Panzer, Combo Man 2000, and Lunar Umbrar. And most sports, we have Yome and CO, Mentos Limo, and Phase 1.
And
Did you say
I'm not
Yo
like
means
really
Yo?
sure with what guys we're gonna get into this match, but
You have replacements for people. Teams not full ready.
No, yeah, teams
okay,
are still getting in the game.
now they're like starting to drop in here.
Okay.
Yeah, we do expect to see the teams just coming in now. We are to the final game, guys. So keep tuned, keep watching, because we still got one more game, one more action-packed
And we still have 2
match to give
minutes,
you.
so
Yeah.
I hope those other guys are coming in fast.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, if we do one of these games in very fast, it means that we do have to game. Obviously, half an hour space between every game. But one more to go. Who do you think, looking at the teams right now, could take this? If we just had to guess.
Well, I don't really recognize people, but from the drafting strategy, I would say Superior Squad is more used to playing 3 versus 3 on update 4.9. So I'm going to vote Superior Squad based on that alone. But I don't really recognize any of these players, so it's really hard for me to take a guess on who would be more dominant. We're missing one player still from the side of Superior Squad.
Wicked Snow White, who do you think will win, Superior Squad or Most Sports?
Well, I think the win will go to, not because the other team is bad, but Superior Squad plays really, really well. And what I know, like this guy seems to be playing a lot together, and so does most sports. I'm not gonna say anything. Like they can surprise us. Lilmo is one of the best Celeste I have ever seen. She is not gonna miss her balls that you sent out. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree with you. I think Superior Squad for me, like, as well. And then we have had an update, and it will be Vainglory's Angle will be playing instead of Matt Jake. So
they're pretty much replacing the entire team except for Luna Rumbra.
Yeah.
Last minute replacements. Well, at least we have a team playing. It's better than just forfeiting or installing the update for 15 minutes.
So who is the last guy we're waiting for then?
Vainglorious Angle. It's on the caster streamers chat.
I don't have any requests.
Yeah, I mean, certainly looking like the final game is going to get it into you guys. We'll be starting very soon. Obviously, we do have one of the teams ready. Just waiting on one more person to join the game, and then we can start with the draft for the 6th and final game of the night. Obviously, a reminder that the Catherine and the Black Bearer have been banned, guys, outside of the draft as the second ban for the elimination stage of the tournament. So that will mean that they cannot be picked up for the draft stage for this game.
We can take this opportunity. Go on. You're adding? Okay. We can take this opportunity also to mention that tomorrow we will have games at around the same hour, starting at 6 GMT, so London and Lisbon hour. So if you're in Central Europe, it's at 7. We'll have 4 games again, the 2 last one elimination matches, and then the winners from today's games. So we have a WinX Club versus Barboza, Yambo versus Stony Tunes Inc., Roland Gaming versus White Umbra, and Tox Armada versus the Sexy Pineapples. So something to look forward to tomorrow, as we're still waiting for the last game of today. Desperately waiting for Vainglorious Angle to join. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Are
we there yet?
Are we there yet?
What about now? What about now?
Nope.
Are we there yet?
Nope.
Nope.
No, never.
Okay, we have Mac Jake, we have Staffel Panzer, and Combo Man. So I think one of them should be.
Yeah, so we still have to get Vainglorious Angle into the game. What do we think about the
This
band,
is the
guys?
worst part with
Yeah.
not having the chat fixed, guys. Like you
Yeah.
cannot communicate
Exactly.
with guys like straight away.
Exactly.
So Sam, like, please, Rogue, please.
Fix
What a
it, chat.
smooth experience.
Fix it, EU chat.
Fix
Um,
it.
Yeah, I mean, what have we not seen today? Like, we've not seen any. So we've not seen any Churnwalker. What else haven't we seen, guys?
Yeah, I would like to see Churnwalker. He's been banned a
Yeah.
couple of times, but we haven't seen them being played. The bans, a reminder for the bans for this match will be Catherine and Blackfeather. People were asking on the chat. So I'm hoping to see some Churnwalker for a change. But what else haven't we seen? We haven't seen Sky. She was banned early on in the games, but we haven't seen her being played at all either. And I would like to see some Rhyme. I love Rhyme on 3 versus 3. It's always very intense. And Baron, of course, also very good 3 versus 3 hyper carry, in my humble opinion, of course. As a mere mortal, not Vainglorious Gold. Still waiting for the last player.
Yep, so we're still waiting on the last player, guys. And obviously, a reminder to the final teams, once again, we do have Superior Squad, who are going to be on the left side. I've changed names, so we have MLG 360, NoScope, Luna, Umbra, and we're looking at Vainglorious Angle to be the third member of that team. And on the right side, we do have Most Sports, Phase 1, Lilmo, and ZFX.
Let me check.
Okay, apparently Vainglorious Angle is MLG 360 no scope, so he's already him. Still missing one person though.
Yeah, they do have 5 minutes still, guys, to join the game before the rules do state.
We're
Unfortunately,
missing for either a
to go
Combo
back,
Man
yeah.
2000 or a Stashel Panzer or a Mac Jake to show up.
One of these
Combo
players-
Man 2000 called into the info desk, please.
Yes,
Mhm.
please do.
Exactly, but certainly, what is it, right, Wicked? You say you think that Superior Squad are the stronger team. What is it that you think is about them that gives them the edge?
Besides the fact that I
Showing up?
play with, like some of these guys, and yeah, they are like pretty out. XP Lilmo are like really good face. Obviously in my guilds, obviously he's a good player. But I just think that the other team is a little bit. But we have been surprised like a lot of times today, so I'm not gonna count them out in any kind of way, because Lilmo on Celeste, that Lilmo does a really good Gwen as well. He's a really good support or jungler. So yeah, these are like friends. This is hard.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah, I mean, all eyes on really Lil Mo. You're hyping me up here, Wicked, about his Celeste. I'm not confident, just based on, you know, the CP Finn from the last one. But you know, it could be wrong. You know, every player is different, and Lil Mo could be the best Celeste I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, Durgan Kern just mentioned that if Superior Squad doesn't have the full members, he will join in and play support Saw for them, so we can have a final game.
Support
Wow.
So
wow.
that's something to look forward to.
Oh man, that's rough.
Feels bad, man. You can still win though. You have support Saw
still
on your
win.
side.
support Saw. Imagine they win and then they knock them. Duggan Kin, he's in the tournament.
Wait
Okay.
a couple more minutes, and then we'll have to give a forfeit if they can't find
Yes.
the last member.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's gonna be an easy win over for no sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that, guys. Come on. Superior
Yeah, we want some
squad.
action
Stand
on the
up for
Alcyon
your
Fold.
name. Yes.
Yeah, but it's a
Come on
shame.
and be superior.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. A shame that obviously teams are failing to show up, but of course everyone is responsible for making it on time.
I see a trend here. Every team that is called squad in their name doesn't have members. It was virtual squad, and now it's superior squad.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
It's a recurring thing.
Yeah, it's a name thing. When you call yourself squad, you won't have a full squad.
This is when we check very quickly, like
Any
the
other
teams.
squads playing?
No, there's no more squads, but tomorrow we do have obviously the final 2 teams in this first elimination stage before we get into finals, which will be Winx Club versus Barbosa, and then obviously Jambo versus Stunny Tunes Incorporated. Would be the final 4 teams to try secure those final 2 spots in the quarter-final match, guys. Tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. CET or 6 p.m. UK time GMT. Tomorrow on the 1st, on the Sunday. And then we will also tomorrow be heading into our quarter-final matches, where we will see the winners of today and also the 2 final winners of the first round tomorrow go up against each other for a space in that semi-final best-3 series.
That's going to be some close matches. At least Roll On Gaming versus White Tumber. That's going to be interesting to see at least. And Tox Armada as well. We haven't seen the Sexy Pineapples playing. They got a free win, but they're sexy. So
yes.
That's what babe, that's all you need, realistically, isn't it? That's all you need in Vainglory is to be a sexy pineapple. It is confirmed here, and you get through.
I'm gonna make you guys so jealous now because I actually got invited.
You got invited to the pineapples?
to be part of the Sexy Pineapples.
You've left me,
Take
Wickus.
this
Can't believe
pineapple.
this.
How can you how can anyone?
How can you
refuse our
refuse?
team
Yeah.
name?
I'm gonna start up my own team called Sexy Pairs, or I think
Sexy Peers, yeah.
Sexy Pairs.
Sounds good.
yeah.
Not as exotic, but
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Sexy
I could-
Mango.
I could call it. I could call it.
Mango. Yeah, we
se-
can like start counting fruits here, guys.
Yeah, a sexy dragon fruit. Yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
pretty intimidating.
And all
Yes.
your members are like Blackwing and
Yeah, it's me, Black
Not Black
and
Claw.
Ghost Ring. Yeah, like
Yeah, Ghost-
that's the three. That's
Ghost
the three
Claw
members
and
of my
Blackwing.
team. Yeah, the dragons and I. Like that's my 3v3 team. My dream is
Blackwing,
pretty
Ghost Claw, and Scarf.
good. Yeah, you can
Those are
take
your team
Kraken.
names.
I don't want Kraken. Yeah.
Sexy
All the
Kraken.
dragons.
That
yeah.
would be something.
Your sub can be the Kraken.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the fake dragon. Yeah.
Or Kraken with wings.
Yeah. We'll just get that edited on there for tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. Photoshop.
Pro tip ideas right now, guys.
So,
So-
I'm giving these guys 1 minute now to get their stuff together.
Get your
Umbra is coming back.
online.
Invite
we
Turgan
have-
King to the team. Yeah,
Yes,
invite him
Yes,
in.
we have a standby. That's what happens when our
He has to
staff
play
members
support,
have
though.
to go in. They
Yeah.
support.
I want to see that Port Saw Shank. 10,000
Well-
damage.
I can play on my desktop client as well if you want.
Yeah, just put me in.
So, do
and
we
I'll
have
play.
the bands, guys? This is going to be interesting.
We
this is
have-
going to be a match.
We have Catherine and Blackfeather as the bands. So
Catherine and Blackfeather. Okay,
Yep.
well, I'm just going to wish Jurgen Quinn the best of luck. You're
I hope he plays
behind
Saw.
the Discord.
I hope he plays
So,
Saw.
let's see what's going to happen.
Okay, good luck, everyone. Let's go. Deploy.
we are moving into the final match. We have our behind-the-scenes staff, playing Portugal. I've been disappointed if he doesn't play Portugal. I'm
That's
expecting.
important. That's why you need a big staff to help you with the tournament, so they can jump in and be a last-minute sub.
They can jump in with a
people playing.
Portugal and ruin all their hopes and dreams. Yeah, exactly. But at least we've got a game. We've got some final action, guys, for you. The final match of the night. Obviously, it will be Superior Squad versus Mo Sports. For our final game of the night. Petal has been banned. I love that ban straight away. 10 out of 10.
The Sky ban coming out for the side of Mo Sports. Also respecting that early aggression from Sky. Let's see what MLG 360 no scope goes for. He goes for the Vox, that buffed little critter from update 4.9.
Who are you calling critter?
And apparently his sister is going to be picked up.
I mean, I will have you know that my clearly tap dancing skills are 10 out of 10.
All learned from playing Vox on Ice.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Oh, a Churnwalker. They heard us on the chat. They're going for the Churnwalker.
Yeah, Churnwalker and the Vox both picked up Celeste. Yeah, I mean, Wicked obviously saying how good Celeste is for Lil Mo. So do expect that to be picked up as a comfort pick for the side of Mo Sports.
Let's go, Celeste. And now we're missing their father, Arden. I think that would be a good support for the side of Superior Squad, actually. So if you're listening to us on the stream, pro tip: pick your daddy as your support.
Pick your family, really. That yeah, okay.
Yeah, breaking apart family. You already have brother versus sister. Now the father has to come in and take sides.
I mean, we've got the daddy from Reza. If we're talking Vainglory, Reza was a dad. So we've got that already there. PS enough, your wishes.
Yeah, if only they would pick Samuel now. The circle would be complete.
The circle is complete. Yeah. The family A versus family. Cool, man. Looks like he's going to be switching to the alpha. It makes more sense.
It would be interesting. They go for the alpha instead.
Oh.
And someone tried to change his skin. And
change your skin
exit by mistake.
Oh, man.
Let's redo the draft. Hopefully the same picks. Hopefully fast. So we can get this last game of today done with. We can go back to playing our own matches of Vainglory.
Go back to smacking you in 3v3 PS enough. Yeah, I'm only joking. You're way ahead of me. I'm only tier 8, man. I'm only tier 8 in 3v3.
Feels bad, man.
I'm
bad.
Big boosts. I'm big boosted. Yeah, but we do see that the draft is gonna.
I'm gonna give you a little inside joke here. You should play a better Sky, and let's just leave it at that.
I should play a better Sky. Well,
because Sky's so oppressive on 3 versus 3.
True. Although I am main support, so I don't know how good that would work out for my teammates.
Durgan Current seems to have left the thing. Could they maybe have found a replacement and he's trying to get away? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, as we move on to the final match, we're hopefully going to get 5 minutes into the draft, but we'll definitely get this final match up for sure. It's got to run it through once again. I think people need to stop picking skins. Don't pick your skins, guys. You don't need to look beautiful to win. It is all about the skill of your individual place and your team fight tactics.
It's not on the skin. The summer skin doesn't save you.
Nope, doesn't give you free win. I'm afraid Vein Crystal does not explode when the summer skins come onto the Halcyon fold.
I wanted to see some Santa Rhyme on this game.
You want some more Santa Rhyme?
Yeah, Santa Rhyme. So that's one of the best skins. Also, of course, Fortress, Summer Fortress is always also the best that little shark dress up. That's awesome.
Oh, I love me some baby sharks. Yeah. Yeah.
We have a Churnwalker instead. We'll have to make do. And School Day Celeste.
Yeah, definitely. Celeste's pretty cool skin though too. I mean, looking at the right, PS enough. I think that honestly, I would much rather go for the side of most sports. I think that actually they've drafted a very good team here with the chunk called the Celeste. You can pull someone into a core collapse, or the the prime directive from the alpha there can engage pretty heavily. We do interestingly see a weapon power infusion brought up the face straight away.
Wow, interesting. I guess they're gonna jungle invade. Let's see. Offensive alpha is offensive.
Clearly, yes. The weapon power
Scouting
infusion.
down some thingy things. The barrier treant in the mid. That's his name. Barrier treant. I don't know why it's called barrier treant. Like, does he give a barrier?
Oh, he gives a
Sort
barrier.
of. But then,
He also gives a heal. He could be.
yeah,
barrier.
it's pretty much a regular treant. They just had to
just
give
a
him a
big
name. I think they call it like the shop treant.
You
The
could call it.
shopkeeper
You
treant.
call it the 9K 360 no scope tree.
The gold toad. That's what I would like to see. Reza, a bit of a bad problem. He goes, dashes over the wall, gets some of his farm and everything. So good plays from no scope there.
Yeah, of course, the infusion has just now been popped. Surprisingly, they use the infusion now. I think that level 1 or 2, they just got level 2. I think the infusion could have been saved for a team fight. There's no need to waste an infusion to get back to the camp. It's a bit of a waste. And we'd like to keep that team fight to break out, which it inevitably did.
Queen Fail from Durgan King, not quite connecting there. Nice try. Feels bad, man.
Exactly, yes, we do see just a farm coming up for Lil Mo late, securing that farm. We are at 10 equal side for both Vox and Celeste, but Celeste got that farm. Is just going to be slightly ahead now. Vox going to have to come back into lane. Unfortunately, it looks like Vox is having some information and is going to finally walk out for shopping perhaps for a long time.
Face has no items at 2 minutes. Oscar is asking on the chat if he's trolling. I'm not sure. I mean, the infusion seems to be... I don't know. I don't know what to think of infusion.
Oh man, poor Face.
If he would have gotten the kill on the first minute, that would have been great. But he didn't get a kill, so it's 500 gold wasted.
Yeah, but also you use the infusion on your back camps. Like, once again, it's just a waste of gold at that point. I mean, you could have kept it and used it for a team fight, and then it would have been useful for 500 gold, because then you would have had an advantage in that team fight. But to use it early, I think I can see perhaps why you used it, in seeing as they didn't get a team fight straight away, but you could have just saved it for a couple more minutes. You're not.
And he hasn't even bought anything. He has 2,000 gold, and he hasn't bought anything.
Yeah.
So now I'm really wondering if he's trolling or not.
I mean, he's doing alright for PS enough. I mean, he's still going, he's getting the jungle, he's invading successfully here with Sid FX here as well. And they are managing to
Durgan
find...
King with Impale, not quite connecting. They might have gotten him a kill on that Celeste connected. The people in the chat are saying that he's doing the no shop challenge. Oh, he just broke the challenge. He just bought something now. Bam.
Now his items are going to come online, and this is where we can see the alpha start to be this early game powerhouse. The alpha can be, and the root comes into Sid FX, but the core collapse is going to stun 2 minutes up, and that's going to be the disengage the side of the superior squads.
Churnwalker laying down the chains. Durgan King laying out the missing impales.
Yeah, we are 4 minutes into the game, guys. We are about 7 this side of most sports, which is nothing really too shattered, but still work all need nonetheless is we continue the early game stages of the winter tournament.
Yep, not much happening early game. We have now an engage on the bottom here between Alpha and 2 members of the opponent team. Luna Rumba joins the fray, and FaZe will have to use his reboot to kill someone off. First blood for Celeste there. Lance very low, will he able to die? Yes, he will. Another kill for the red team, and now No Scope forced to run away. He's chained up and he manages to get away. Solar Storm not quite connecting.
Yeah, so some would have killed the Reservoir, but going to miss the Mr. Solar Storm. I mean, I'm gonna call you out in that one, Tommy. Lomo would never miss a Solar Storm. I feel lied to, but that will be I mean, he's doing pretty well in core class, so we'll give him that. He's been pretty consistent.
And avoiding those impales from Durgan King.
For sure, Durgan King still putting out a down Stormcrown first item for Durgan. Interestingly, because Stormcrown is not faded the jungle that much, so I wonder why he's gone that, to be honest.
So the impale hurts more, I guess.
But if you wanted to go back, you just get Tension and then really do the damage. I mean, Tension Lance would work a lot more, I think, than the Stormcrown. I think that perhaps later in the game when we see the Objectives Round the Core Final, we see the Objectives Round the Kraken, that is when perhaps the Stormcrown will become useful.
Just farming away. Here comes FaZe, trying to get someone off guard, maybe with a prime directive into the bush. Just waiting for the lane to push. Nope, rotating back down. No engage. Slower game than we had on the previous matchups. On this last game of today, 6 minutes in, only one team fight. Maybe FaZe will change that now. Chasing down Durgan Carrot. Nope, decides to go back.
Yeah, obviously they're just his wave. They're going to push that under a little moment. Very respectful, both of these teams. Really choosing to go at each other, despite the fact that perhaps I think it would have been wise for the side of esports to have been aggressive in this early game. Though we see this actually coming up from NRG 360 is going to go in, and Lil Mo has popped the flask already very early, so that's going to cost them the flask for the next team fight, which could affect their team fight.
Impale's not quite connecting. I think if one of those impales would connect on Celeste, they might be able to get a kill, but unfortunately Durgan Kern not quite as accurate as you would hope.
Yeah, certainly. Here we are now, obviously 7.5 minutes into the game. Still 32 and about one team fight, as you mentioned, PS. But we do see 1.5 people opening up this consistent farming in the lane, and doing a really good job of making sure that the queen is extended. Obviously, we do see a slight CSP over the box, but also that early game pressure that 2-man jungle and base early goes to Reza has been a slight lead as well.
It's all about late game, apparently.
Certainly, it seems to be as we move into the end of the game, the mid-game stages now. The root does finally land, the wait for it's going to land, but also going to do a lot of damage to the land. And now the Stretch Dash has been used, they're not going to take down the land, safe now, and the tower. Vox about half health.
Good engage there without quite getting any kills from either side. Alpha getting caught off guard with an impale underneath the turret, but she still had her reboot, so it wasn't really that dangerous. Yeah, late game. This game is all about late game.
Yeah, it seems to be PS enough. I mean, certainly I think if we get to the late game, I still think that Celeste on Lil Mo is really going to dominate these team fights. It's going to be up to this Reza to really burst down Lil Mo before he can get too many heliogenesis off against the enemy teammate before we can start stacking up that damage, because Lil Mo is already 2 items, just consistently farming, hasn't actually been this entire game, and as a result has been allowed to really stack up when the items can stack up the damage, and it's very hard for Luna Umbra and Lance to find.
I do have the mobility to avoid those heliogenesis from Lil Mo, so have to see how it actually works out in terms of skill.
It's going to be all about the rollouts, about the Sonic Zooms, about obviously.
Another fight down here between Alpha and Reza. Prime Directive waiting for it. There we go. Reza uses the Solar Storm, only clipping. Churnwalker wants to finish him off though, but misses the chain, so that's a no-go.
Could have pulled him into the tree and very good combination.
Now Alpha in a
there.
bad position.
Alpha still has the reboot there, where it's going to just absolutely wipe the box from the map. And now Churnwalker helping to take the Reza away from the fight. Lil Mo did actually take down the Crystal Sentry as well on the back of that. Then now extending this gold lead to about 2,500 gold. They're slowly getting a bigger lead into the game. It may not be a fast gold lead that they're creating, but it's certainly not let up.
Yeah, let's talk about builds real quick. We see Shattered Glass and Aftershock on that Reza. No mortal wounds. He might want to get a mortal wound, especially because of Alpha, as the gold miner goes to the side of most sports. See Celeste with the Spellfire and the Eve of Harvest, so she's going for the long game, not burst damage. I wonder what her next item will be, if it's the Dragon's Eye or just Shattered Glass.
Yeah, I mean, definitely have to agree, like, base build from Celeste, I think is very important in Celeste works to get to the late game. This is where it seems to be going right now, and Lil Mo is going to be so impactful in these fights because the space falls off into the later game and the Alpha is going to be up to the Celeste. We do see the way for engagement going on, the silence does land, and now Lil Mo is going to be almost killed, but it will be the Fountain and a healer back up, and now Alpha just goes straight back in and deletes the Reza from the fight. Troublemaker can escape. Solar Storm's going to go through, does land onto Lance, putting him down to half health. And the fight is over now, but the minions now ready to push onto that turret. With FX can apply pressure. Now, Lil Mo applying that zoning pressure, putting Luna back under his turret and being able to zone him out of the fight. We'll see now post level 8 as well. Lil Mo is
yeah, but the damage that Reza did to that Celeste, only 2 hits and it completely killed her off. So that's like a little preview of what you're going to see on the late game when Reza is really online. He only has 2 items. When he starts getting 3 and some defense itemization, it's going to be really hard to get him off that Celeste unless Churnwalker can do something about it. Or the Alpha will have to chase him down, but it's going to be really hard to get those prime directives with all the dashes that Reza has to just get away and be mobile.
Exactly.
Alright, another engage here. Celeste needs to be careful. The ultimate from Reza not quite connecting though. The Githian wall pushes away. Solar Storm connecting with 2 people, and a very dead Vox follows up from that. Nice team fight on the side of most parts this time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, certainly the side of Moti's pushing sure start to win these fights, but they finally get the kills to follow up on that, and it will be the 6,000 lead ahead. They're really creating this snowball effect. And it's going to be up to the side.
I love the bug on the chain on Churnwalker that's stuck to that bush forever. I wonder what happens if he recalls.
I mean, yeah, it's for sure going to be up to the Superior Squad here to get their way back into this game. It's going to be pretty hard, though, being already 7,000 gold almost behind. It's 13.5 minutes in the game. Celeste is already an item ahead of everyone else. And also the same with the Alpha as well, has already got 3 items. Second, Tyrant's Monocle to really blow up the side of the enemy carry.
I don't know why Vox didn't do a Poison Shiv there. He went for the Bone Saw instead, when both of the enemy heroes have sustained both Eve of Harvest and what's it called? Serpent's Mask. So I think the itemization is slightly off on the side of Superior Squad. They should be doing some mortal wounds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we right now, even the 6th kill to the side of the superior squad. Yes, enough, they pull the lands back in, but the full collapse lands once again, and that's just going to be some erasing of the land city. Takes some nap into the ground, 6 feet under. And now the Kraken now opened up.
Durgan Kern with the throw there. That's going to cost him a Kraken.
Well, we say that they're looking for this, finding an angle that we can get in, and they do not manage to steal it. Wait for it does something. Nevertheless, has been actually deleting the backline. This could be the fight that they need. Though the Kraken is still going to charge down the base. Though they do manage to find the box, manage to find the healer. That's going to heal him back up to kill now the Reza. And Reza's really going to have to run for his life, but find out to land. Now just press back use just to make sure that he can't run anymore. And that will be 2 kills going towards the Alpha. 21 breaking point stacks he had on his breaking point, doing so much damage.
And Razzle is doing his job. He manages to get into the backline, killing Celeste off, but then Vox can't really do any follow-up. They can't deal with the Alpha afterwards. Even if they kill Celeste, they can't deal with the Alpha. And the Turnwalker is so annoying, keeping everyone locked down, or trying to keep everyone locked down. It really seems that the advantage is on the side of most sports right now.
Oh, for sure, it is an almost full game, and despite that loss, there's still 6,000 gold in the lead in that battle to go to phase, just make him even stronger going into the next portion of this game through the Crystal Trian. Definitely just looking so dominant in this game, and it's really surprising just to see how strong this team actually are. This is probably the most dominant fashion you've seen.
Oh, you have a one-on-one Celeste versus Vox. Vox decides to run away.
Yeah, sure. This is
no sibling fight here.
Definitely been the most dominant game for sure this evening. Out of all the 5 games that we've had today, but also just continuing to farm up and already got
Turnwalker in a bad position. It's a chain going. Now it's Celeste in a bad position. They use the boots trying to get to her, but she also uses the boots and manages to get away.
Yeah, Celeste going towards a 5th CP item. I think it would be much better for Celeste to go something like a Celestial Shroud or an Aegis to help defend herself against the Reza's engagement to keep herself
definitely
alive.
an Aegis, yeah.
I like the fact that FaZe has gone actually for the armor against the box. That is going to be the carry that he's going to be up against.
Durgan King once again caught out of position. He wanted to have some vision, ended up giving a kill. 1,599 damage on that Alpha.
Man, that is double times more. And now we see the Kraken being pressured once again. Yes, now they're looking to try take a second objective, although MLG can't assert this. I would never want a Detonator. It looks like he wants to go in. He's trying to find the Troublemaker, and the Neverform Data finds it, and now they look like they're trying to fight PS enough, but the box is already getting the back line, and it doesn't matter because although they managed to defend that objective, it will be for naught as the Kraken already half health is not going to find this turret. It is just going to get perhaps 1-2 shots, and then it is going to do some free gold. So the gold lead is actually just going to increase further thanks to that objective.
Yeah, they just delayed the game a little bit further. It doesn't really do much of a difference. I think the Celeste should be more protected and have like some defense against the Reza, either Slumbering Husk or the heavy shield thing. Other than that, I think that it's completely dominant performance for most parts. So Reza does his job when he goes in, but there's no real follow-up or no way to challenge that Alpha. So it's a pure one-sided game. Let's see if they manage to pull something out of nowhere and then surprise us, though.
Yeah, it's this Alpha, right? They're looking to take the Celeste down because they've bought, obviously the Atlas Pauldron. They've got the heavy armor as well on, and now they're looking to continue to push down positioning on this map for the side of most sports. They're looking to remove the vision side of the superior squad and not allow them and edge into this game at all as we move into the 20-minute mark.
Durgan could secure like a good impale followed with a Githian wall, like stun one of those members up, either Celeste or Alpha. This could be a different matchup, but it's not happening so far. So let's see how this evolves. We might have another team fight coming up next here. Some close damage. Chainwalker lurking behind the bush. Alpha just sitting there, waiting for the right opportunity to use the Prime Directive. Now here comes the engage. Alpha steps in. Crucible used prematurely. The Alpha doing a lot of damage. Also going very low, though. Forced to use the ultimate on Solar Storm, clipping to mostly body armored by the Lance there. The Trespass manages to kill. No, it's a reverse. They're coming back into this. They managed to get the Reza by a little miracle, but it's a team fight in favor of Superior Squad for the first time on this matchup. Will they have enough to take the Kraken? I think they can. They think they're too low.
This is what they've done. PSNF, they managed to turtle the game out. They managed to, with that last Kraken, to survive just long enough to where they now have equal items, to where they can contest in these fights. And despite the fact that it was decided Motorsports engaging in the last team fight, it was actually decided Superior Squad that came out successful. Reza only falling to a basic attack that Celeste managed to get off just before she died.
Yeah, but that was a little bit of bad luck on side of Alpha, or at least she was very well denied. She did damage, but got stunned up and just managed to get stuck there, and her ultimate didn't really do much for her because she's weapon, not CP. So it's really just a delay. So very nice reversal. We might still have a game in our hands here. Let's see if we have another team fight coming up. The Kraken is back up.
Pretty sure the Kraken is here once again. Although inside of Superior Squad, despite they take that last fight, they've still got 4 turrets to march through. One Kraken would not be enough. But
it's pretty much full build, so not much else they can do.
Game it's all about trying to get the right team fight. It's all about the vision control right now.
You want to start up the Kraken? We'll have another
started. They can see this happening through that flare. That the Helo Genesis is able to zone them away for now. That the Kraken now half health within to the land. The Impale going to land onto the Alpha. Solar Storm also Krat's not gonna miss land, sorry.
Solar Storm
does manage to land that real Storm managed to land, and it going down thanks to that Solar Storm there. And now Reza also going to be the next target. The Water Resin Prime Direct does miss, but the lad's going to get him walk away for now. The Clash does miss as well. Durgan going to fall down for sure. It's Prime Direct of land, so that's going to be 2 members falling. They now death time is staggered by 20 seconds, which is not what you want to see. It's going to cost them this objective of the Kraken, surely, as Reza is continuing to push the turret zone. He's taking these objectives. He's countering. And despite
I think he gets something out of that team fight.
I think he could have honestly pushed that second turret. He could have finished too.
Yeah, maybe. But I really like that team fight, like the Churnwalker, really, the Trespass catching 2 people, just perfect for that Solar Storm to hit him in the face and finish that up. So very clean team fight from the side of Motorsports there. That's what we want to see if they want to close out this game. They have a Kraken now. They need to escort. Here comes the Reza trying to do some team fight. The ultimate is popped up. Alpha already getting a bit low. The Slumbering Gust already turned on. The Vox laying down. Solar Storm clipping up Reza. That might turn around. Trespass connecting.
This is game.
Perfect Solar Storm there.
They survived 23 minutes, but in the end, most in that third turret falling down, the only survivor there is the Lance, and unfortunately he will not be long for this world learning, but not successful enough. That's what basically will just barely survive, and the Kraken continues to push down. 1 turret remaining, still 10 seconds to the best time of the PS. Now it would not
do that game
anymore with the squad. You could have a good fight. But
yeah, I thought the game was over, and they still managed to have a good team fight there and turn it around. So well played. They didn't give up. They kept going. But in the end, I think they were just outdrafted from the side of of most sports. So congratulations, most sports. You move on to the next phase of the tournament. Well played, Superior Squad, with your last-minute substitution of Durgan Kern, doing those missing impales there for our viewing entertainment pleasure. And that seems to wrap up the games that we had today for you guys. Wicked Snow White, what's
Yes.
up with the tournament? You want to do any last words before we head out?
I have to give credits to Durgan for stepping in and trying to help Superior Squad out. Really, really nice. It's just sad when these things happen, when you have to like jump in and do something like that and not being prepared. And big congrats to Lilmo's team and XIDFX and Face for winning. You see, guys, I told you. She's a Celeste.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lilmo definitely working well there on obviously the Celeste at the end.
And the exit on Alpha is,
Oh, the
They did a
Alpha
good,
carried
great-
for sure.
yeah, they
Wow.
did a great team combo
Yeah.
and they deserve their spot in going through to the next
Definitely.
stage. So tomorrow
Alright.
we're gonna have 2 more of these games with the Vinx Club versus Barbosa and Jumbo versus Stony Toons. And after that we're gonna go through to the next stage where the 8 teams play against each other.
In the quarterfinals,
gonna-
yeah.
Yeah, quarterfinals. And that's gonna be tomorrow.
Yes, that will be on your
And-
screens tomorrow, guys. Yeah,
And that's still best of 1, right?
yeah, best of one,
Best of 1.
7
Until
p.m.
next Sunday, when we start with the best of.
Best of threes and semis.
Thank
Yeah,
you everybody for that's been here and like supporting us and watching and supporting their favorite players. And thank you for our mods from Cursed Gamers that's been here and like keeping the chat nice place to be. And thank you to you guys. Highland Wolf,
problem.
the exploding oven, and he is enough. Like this has been like so much fun, and I'm really grateful for everybody that's been here.
Yeah, thanks for having
Mhm.
us. It was
Thank
great.
you.
Let's have some good
I-
matches tomorrow as well.
Yes, and I see you all same time, same place, same channel tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye everyone. Take care.
Bye bye.